What are you doing? October 28th at Vino's. You're watching wrestling, is what you're doing. Little pizza shop of horrors featuring kill order and open casket. Tickets online right now for $20 or $23 at the door. Get you some. Is that it? I didn't forget nothing, did I? I think that's everything. November 4th. What do you mean? Oh, Crashcast cover show. November 4th, 2023. Year of our Lord. There's no person in front of me, Kurt. It's a camera. Millions, potentially millions. You're not wrong. Viral is do be viraling. Crashcast cover show. November 4th, 2023 at Bino's Brew Pub. 923 West 7th Street, if you didn't know. This already sucks. I'm going to start this over.
Yeah, why are you doxing the place?
I'm doxing the venue. Hey, come here. Don't come here, though. You know, you got to know where it's at before you get here. Shit. I mean, SHIT algorithm. What are you doing November 4th? Fucking around? You trying to find out? Come to Vino's. 923 West 7th Street.
You don't have to say the address.
I'm reading the flyer, man. I do like that intro, though. November 4th. November 4th. God damn it.
Okay.
This is tough. This is actually tough. November 4th. You fucking around? You trying to find out? Well, come find out with us at the Crashcast cover show. $15 if you get your tickets from me or any of the bands, right? Meow. But at the door, it's $20. Save yourself $5. Find one. Get it. It's going to sell out. Don't be silly goose. All right? All American Rejects. Prop Hunter. Check. Green Day, The Espionage Act. Check. Yeah. Deftones by Salon Blonde. Double check. Knocked Loose by Zashed. Triple check. That's 17 checks. See you there. Peace. Pretty good. Stupid, but good. It could be tighter. If I do it more, the better I'll get at it. I'm just bad at it now because huh? Murdering? Yeah.
I do it, the better I feel.
I mean, you said have it like a conversation. That is kind of what I would have. That's
how you would have the conversation.
I mean, what are you doing November 4th? You fucking around? Yeah? You trying to find out?
When was the last time you had a conversation?
Oh, lots of people. What are you doing? You fucking around? You fucking off? You doing shit? Huh? You busy? You ain't busy. You fucking lying to me. You're watching Netflix. Get off your dumb ass. Okay? Come to fucking Vino's. Watch bands do cool shit. Quit being a boring person. All right? Live your life. 923 West 7th Street. Okay? All American Rejects. We got All American Rejects by Prop Hunter. Fucking checkmate. Get your tickets now. Pachow. God, I'm so fat. I hate it. I think drugs are the only answer at this point. It is? I thought we were done. Do you have tickets? No? Do you want tickets? Get your tickets from me. Get your tickets from Zash performing Knocked Loose. Get your tickets from Prop Hunter doing All American Reject. Get your tickets from the Espionage Act doing Green Day or Salon Blonde doing Deftones. They all got tickets. $15 in advance. Do it. It's going to sell out. Or it's $20 at the door if you're lucky enough to pay $20 at the door. Yeah, Crashcast cover show. 3rd year in a row. It's going to be fucking awesome because it's been awesome. It's going to stay awesome. November 4th, Vino's Brew Pub. See you there, Sparkle Fingers. Huh? Not bad. Well, would you rather pay for what? Netflix? You want to watch Netflix? Netflix is
Would you
fucking
rather pay for Netflix or be able to spend $15 for one night of entertainment?
one unforgettable night of entertainment. You'll remember this fucking night longer than you'll remember any of those shit ass shows they're putting out, huh? Because we do quality and in person, and we'll say hi to you, and we won't cancel your subscription at all. We love you.
Your subscription or you.
Yeah. Come one, come all. Bring your dirtiness. We're like the Statue of Liberty of fucking shows. Give us your tired, you're weak, and you're hungry. Your huddled masses. We're putting all this in, right? Okay, cool. Do one more. This is sideways, too. I hope we just leave all of this. This is fucking insane. This is pure chaos. I love it. This is how we should do ad reads. 10 minutes of fucking off. I do like the Netflix angle, though. What are you, like, paying for boring time to sit around and just watch your phone any damn way? Why don't you come be on your phone at Vino's and record a life-changing experience? All ages. Forgot that in the last one. It's all ages. You can be 7 years old. You can be 57 years old. Tickets are only $15, $20 at the door. Solid chance you're not going to get one at the door. Actually, you will, because they won't let us sell out tickets only. So, lucky you. Yeah, which is not.
There are 100 pre-sale tickets.
There's 100 pre-sales. Okay. So, November 4th, Vino's Brew Pub, 923 West 7th Street. $15, $20. All American Rejects, Green Day, Deftones, Knocked Loose. It's going to be a crazy night full of awesome fun and adventures, pizza and booze. Come hang out with us. Say hi.
Podcast celebrities will be there.
Podcast celebrities will be there. A couple of them. We love you. Thank you. Welcome to Costco. Listen to Tiny Towns. Cut. That's perfect. We're leaving all that in.
Parton shirt, because what's more hardcore than kicking somebody's ass in a Dolly Parton shirt, right?
Are we going?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on. I'm glad we're going. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to work the song around that one. That's
man.
good.
Hey, look, we got God's
Nothing's
nectar
more
here.
badass than kicking somebody's ass in a Dolly Parton shirt. That's what.
Absolutely, I wanted to do that, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I wanted a Dolly Parton shirt. So what better way to have an excuse to do it than kick someone's ass?
Amen.
And
Is there blood on the shirt now?
No. I wish. I wished I could have gotten a white one ahead of the dog collar match.
Oh my god.
But I got that cool X-Men one still like sitting in my house, and I'm like, black box that thing, cool looking. What's cooler than X-Men? Blood.
It's covered in all of your friend's blood.
All of his blood.
He put all of his blood on both of your bodies.
Yeah. And what amazes me, and it was scary to me,
is how much a forehead can bleed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
At first I'm like, oh man, he did really good. By the way, that's how much he bled.
That's how much a forehead can bleed.
Exactly. And by the way, if you don't listen to the Crashcast, that's you next.
Right?
Not really. I'm not going to physically harm you. I'm just going to verbally annihilate you.
This is one of the coolest fucking matches, dude.
It was a wild concept, and it was cool that I got to wrestle my best friend in our favorite match type, too.
That's your favorite match type?
Yeah, as a dog collar match. There's just there's something about the art of it that's a real fucking chain. That thing
I
weighed
know.
about 50 pounds. So like when the referee drops the chain, you could see it just like and pull our neck. There's something about an art of, you don't have to not only wrestle your opponent, you have to wrestle around that chain.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're going to be tripping over it.
You're trying to use it too as a weapon.
Yeah. And
beat each other in the back and shit. Dude, it was so
I
crazy.
had welts on me from when he caught me across the stomach with that. And that hurt me. But the biggest part was like when I threw him up against that wall and he started bleeding, I'm like, oh man, like he's really, he got it good there. And as I'm hitting him, I'm watching him breathe, and this thing is just opening.
Oh Lord, so he had like a vein or something.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh shit, like,
dude, fuck.
It was rough, and there was one part where, like, when I was literally holding the chain, I felt him like trying to collapse, and I'm holding him up, and I'm like, oh no. I was worried about my friend, but my friend has somebody they have to go home to, and the other thought in the back of my head is, oh shit, I hurt them, and now I have to explain what happened. We were just playing around, Mom, sorry. Yeah. And the whole time, so they get to the ER. Will's like, Cody, you're in charge of the show for the rest of the night. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, he was gone.
And so they go to the ER, and the funniest thing about it was his boyfriend was just scolding him kind of the whole time, like, this is stupid and all that. And like, so when you have to like explain the whole situation of how this works to a nurse who is completely oblivious to this, it's like, oh, hey, we might need to check this guy in. Not only to the hospital, but to
to the loony bin?
To the fucking loony bin. And the doctor comes in, he's like, so they're still doing that after all these years.
Nice.
So it was nice to see that the doctor gave us a point for.
Was he still in his outfit, I hope? Did he change?
He changed out, but like, he sat there maybe 5 hours total.
What?
But like, he, I will, spoiler alert, Matthew Williams, he's a piece of shit. Love the guy to death, but he's a piece of shit, but he's also a nurse in real life. So he like helped Will, like, hey, this is what you got to do to keep it from bleeding. At least buy yourself some time. And so, like, thank God for that piece of shit, Matt Williams, every time.
You wonderful fucking piece of garbage.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is lifelong frenemy of mine and Will's is both of our wrestling careers have intertwined with Matt Williams. He was like our first like true feud, and me and Will were always kind of the guys that were like, oh, well, they don't do a lot of this. They actually like wrestle, and where we came from. If you couldn't do this well, then it was kind of didn't get looked down upon, but you were just kind of like looked over. And I mean, you look at me, I'm kids, and at the time we were overweight kids.
Sure.
So it was like Matt Williams saw something in us. Yeah, now we're just dude, we're just trying to.
I'm fucking yoked, dude. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, no, Will is getting yoked, and I'm just sitting here. He's like, well, dude, I'm just trying to get on your level. But Will explained to me, like, look, I'm like 6 foot. You're 5'7", so your muscles like more compact and stuff. And I go, exactly, man, exactly. And so.
You make good photos, though. Damn, you should cut your friend's forehead open more often.
Oh, yeah, man. Somewhere down the line,
every photo that came out of that match, I was just like, what the fuck? Scrolling through the feeds.
Oh, man.
Wow.
You know that.
Did you get it from every angle in that room?
Yes. And the thing that me and Will weren't expecting was the adoration we got from it. Because up like 3-4 weeks after that show, we had fans just sending us like photos, and like we were being told how much they appreciated what, and it was like, it's moments like that it sticks with you. Because me and him both like the moment that we both kind of decided we want to be a wrestler, very similar moment was like Undertaker and Mankind throwing him off the cell, and then and then throwing him to that. And I told Will, I go, dude, there was so much we had for that match, that could have been done, but I don't think I would change it, because all the major hitting points that told every bit of the story that had to be told in this match was they were hit. And I go, if you ask me, this was our King of the Ring 1998 Hell in a Cell match.
Hell yeah.
So, and again, favorite match type. And You don't see that match type too often.
I've never seen it, but I'm also a newbie.
Oh man, I always recommend checking out Punk and MJF, and then Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine, because earlier in the match, I think it's Piper's ear gets lacerated, and so the whole time Greg Valentine's like wrapping that chain around his hand and punching him in the ear and stuff.
Fuck.
And I actually had welts on my forehead from where Will would like, he wrapped a chain around his fist and he punched me in the head, and I had a goose egg here and a goose egg here. And I'm like, oh man, this shit hurts.
What hurt worse, that or the skewers in the face?
I will say this. That was a dull pain. The skewers,
sharp pain.
Oh,
down the body. My feet just fucking tingled thinking about it.
Man,
God,
so
dude,
like,
you had so many.
So it's funny because I have a picture on my phone of like when the skewers were out, and my head looked like I had chicken pox because it was just like.
Oh, after? Like in the back?
So, and then like when I pulled them out, I'm like, oh man, I didn't bleed. When I pulled them out, just.
They were holding on.
I literally looked like the Andrew WK album cover, except not the nose. It was the forehead. But the thing about skewers that hurt is it ain't the stabbing that hurts. Like it stings a little bit when they let go and all the piercings are pulling up on that skin and ripping it. And I'm like, damn, that hurts, And
I felt that in my wiener.
Yeah.
God.
And so, like, I've been a part of some, like, wild, like, moments here at Vino's thus far.
Dude,
and it's like...
every fucking time. It's like, what? Someone's gonna fucking die. Yeah. This is crazy.
And the thing is that place really does, it holds a special, like, place in my heart, because I didn't know we're gonna have.
Isn't it crazy? That place is magical like that. It'll get you.
And, I think the thing is we did the first show, as Will mentioned before. I didn't know. With the history of Vino's, it's been there for years. I thought, hey, man, they've had to have had some kind of wrestling here.
Maybe little people wrestling, but...
I mean, wrestling's wrestling.
I'm just waiting for when y'all do that, too. Can't wait to have that match. Gotta happen.
Oh, man, dude. Look, if I could get a Hell Patrol versus Smell Patrol match of just little people versions of Hell Patrol,
I would fucking lose my mind.
Man, I would send everybody home. There's no way we're topping that.
It's like, well, it's been fun, Vino's, but...
Yeah, no, and like I said, it's just crazy that they just keep having us back to do it. And like I said, that place has provided a lot for me. So
have you got to watch a match? Like not from back there, but have you snuck around and watched one or two?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I did the Buck Skinner and CJ Adams match, I was out in the crowd.
That shit was insane.
Yeah, and I believe CJ is like a trainee of Buck's. So it was kind of a cool, like, student versus teacher, and it's just like the student's getting his ass beat. But I can't say enough good things about either of those guys because Buck Skinner was, we did the math, and his first match in Arkansas was like at a show called AWO.
Okay.
I wrestled him that match, so he was in the first, so I think I was his first opponent in Arkansas. Right. So what way to make it come full circle? First ever Vino's wrestling show, first ever match. It's me and Buck Skinner.
Yeah.
And, I can't say enough, like, good things about Buck either. Like, I feel we've got a very stacked roster of people that are, you get some, I mean, in any form of entertainment, you've got some people fucking egos. Like, buddy, we're splitting the bill here. Yeah. Like, there's no need to have a big head. Funny
thing about ego, it'll find its way into damn near everything.
It will. Yeah. And the cool thing about that is we have Chris and Buddy who are legit badasses. So they'll just they'll just kick that shit out of you.
I'll pop your fucking head off. Shut up.
Yeah, no, man. So I have a group chat with Will, Chris, and Buddy, and we sit there and shoot the shit. And Chris will talk. He'll just dog on me. I'm like, Chris, I know you can kick my ass, sir. But I'm really going to beat the shit out of you one day.
When's that match? What's y'all's tag team when y'all had it? What was y'all's name?
Oh, well, the fully gifted athletes.
That's it. Yeah.
FGA, and you know, we still kind of do it everywhere. And it was there was a guy, I'm not going to mention his name because you know the dude kind of can be petty, but
Sure.
the original FGA stood for this guy that just talked shit about local wrestling. He was a wrestler himself. Know-it-all attitude. And it's like the guy knows his stuff, but he was just being a dick for the sake of being a dick. And so it's like, so we went on and he started talking. Oh. Excuse me.
I think y'all told me this story.
Yeah. And so it was, so I'm like, you know what? Fuck that guy. You know, FG. And, you know, that's where that came from. Then when we're like, oh, we got this tag team name, and we were telling people about it. They're like, oh, we love it, but how are we going to announce it? What does that actually stand for? So we're like, you know what? Fully gifted athletes off the top of the head. And at the time, me and him were still kind of out of shape, just puds. So, I mean, it made it funny. And now we're sitting here, like, actually making improvements on our body. Will is taking jiu-jitsu super serious, as well as his, like, physical health. And
You take a picture from y'all's first match at Vino's, and now it's Transformation City.
I was pushing, like, 260 at Vino's, and thank God for Buck being strong and lifting my fat ass up at that time. And I mean, because Bubba had some work to do lifting that up and hit me with the pile driver and stuff. But I think, you know, now it'd be a lot better. I feel a lot better too. Like now that I've cut the weight, and it was not only my physical health, but my mental health was shot. My diet was shit, and you know, it's true you can't outwork crappy diet at all. So, you know, I started eating healthier. So I usually eat fairly healthy Monday through Friday. That way I can have them beers on the weekend, or and you know, with wrestling and you're traveling, man, unless you've got like some cool stuff or meals prepped ahead of time, it's hard to eat healthy on food.
It's impossible. It's impossible unless you just got crazy ass money and you can kind of go to a place and have it made for you.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, even with that, it's like, you know, man, we'll have did some drives. It's like hour drives to shows. Like you know, we've did stuff and
it's across the country.
Yeah, we did stuff in Savannah, Georgia. We went and wrestled in Detroit, Michigan. That was fun. So
that's cool.
And Will, as he grew up in Michigan. I got to see like a little dose of his hometown, and the thing me and him do is when we travel from town to town outside of wrestling, we're nerds of a different breed, man. So it's you know, if we go to local comic shops, video game shops, we try to find like mom and pop ones, and we try to buy something from it as well. So we've found like steals on comics, and so that's like our little thing we do.
I dig it.
We've had some buddies that's went with us, and they're like, fucking nerds. And
hell yeah, nerds, bitch.
And they'll like walk out with something. Me and Will look at each other. Fucking nerd.
Turns out your childhood was pretty cool, huh there, Pete?
Yeah, man. And so like me and Will like make a list of stuff we're on the hunt, like nerdy stuff. So
y'all really in it.
Yeah, so if we like find it there, it's like, hey, grab it. Like right now, me and him are on the hunt for like a good condition Rumble in the Bronx DVD.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. And
if I come across one, I'll fucking get it.
Please.
Love that movie.
Man, I found one, and it was at a game exchange, and I looked at the disc, and it was all like and I'm just like, the Holy Grail.
All I'm ever looking for is movies. When I go to like old antique stores and shit, I just want to see the DVD collections.
Man, I like good movies. I would like to get back into collecting VHSs again. Yeah. I know that's back on the rise, but I love like. You
got to be careful now because now you're gonna pay for them.
Man, it's that and vinyls. Man, I recently got back into vinyl collecting.
That's deep. It goes so deep now.
And yeah, and it's like I remember I could go to an antique store and find them for like $2 or $3 a piece, and now it's like, oh hey, it's back on the rise. You're paying full price.
It's $30, dude. I know it was released in '58. It's $30.
Well, that's cool. It's $30, but can you tell me who the fuck is this person? Yeah. I've never heard any of these songs.
That's Gene Petit. Had one hit. No one knows who they are.
Oh, he let a certain hate group. Whoa, hey, why are you selling this? Throw that shit in the trash can.
Money. That's why. Money.
Man, you gotta love that corporate shit. But we're all trying to make a buck here. But,
Sure.
but,
Some of us just earn it differently.
yeah, no, that. It's weird to me now that I actually get paid to do this, and because there for about 2 years we weren't getting paid to do it.
When did you start doing it?
So, I've got two tales of that. So I started training initially in Jonesboro, Arkansas, for Rodney Mack. Late 2008, early 2000.
Okay.
It was RWA, and then it was DCW.
Did you just walk in like a kid at a karate class? Like, what's this?
So we had wrestling in Batesville, and then it was
at school?
there. No, they did it at the Old Miller Gym. That's where I'm at. All right, this will put him on the spot again. I saw Matt Williams for the first time there, and I was only 12, so that's 20 years ago. So, yeah, Matt, called you out, geezer.
Calling me out too, man. Shut up.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm 32. I'm an old man. I know what it's like out there. It's hard out there.
It's hard out there.
Man, I found my first gray hair in my beard not too long ago, and I was freaking out. I messaged Draven Morrow, and I go, you always get on to me for saying I'm too old for this shit. And you know what? Found a gray hair in my beard. I want my free McDonald's coffee. I want my senior citizen discount. I want my AARP, all of it. I'm tired of paying for shit. I'm tired of working.
Already?
Yeah.
Got some bad news for you, Bubba.
Oh, man.
Gonna have to double that.
Man, especially in this economy.
What are you gonna... Wrestling? What? Ooh. Well, you can't do this forever, surely, right? What's the age out of a... Oh, wait.
So,
origin story. Sorry.
Yeah.
I keep jumping back and forth.
So I did that for a little while with Rodney and Jazz, and so a buddy of mine told me about that in Jonesboro, and Rodney and Jazz, they wrestled in WWE and ECW. I believe they were trained by Junkyard Dog, and good lineage too, and great people. But I was young and I was stupid at that time too.
Weren't we all?
And that place was, I'd caught some wind at that place, and the guy leasing the building, I guess the landlord, you'd call it, they were having a falling out on some issues about the pricing of the lease.
Always.
And so I got out of it. I was at a place in my life. My grandpa just died, and I'm just trying to figure life out. I'm a young adult, and I'm just too much. My sister's gotten some trouble. Me and my parents had to take care of her kids while she was dealing with that.
Sure.
And so, I put that on the back burner, and then I'm like, all right. And then once the kids got old enough, it was very much like me and the girl I was with at the time went to college together, and I was telling mom and dad, look, they're old enough to go to school now. Y'all are both working, y'all can both do daytime jobs and stuff, you and dad both. I got to go to college for me because where I'm from in Batesville, you work at a chicken factory, you work at Walmart,
right?
You work at a bread factory if you're lucky. I just started the Bad Boy Mowers factory around that time, but I didn't want to do factory work. I saw how beat up my family was for that shit.
Oh, yeah.
At my age now, and
that shit kills your soul, man.
Yeah, it does. It's demeaning.
It is.
And so I went to UCA. Was going to do video game design and stuff because I love video games. And then I think about midway through that, it's like, dude, I hate calculus. This stuff sucks.
Turns out math is bullshit, dude.
Yeah, this is bullshit. Since when the hell did we start throwing letters in this?
Yeah, I'm out.
It's since when does 1 + 1 = H? What the hell is this?
I didn't learn the alphabet. I gotta go.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm too stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And much respect to people that enjoy that.
Hey,
because
I love my iPhone. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, engineers.
Yeah, thank goodness. And so I finished my degree. I got a Bachelor of Business Administration. Still did the MIS focus. So, I learned programming in Java. Did a little bit in SQL Server, Python. But it's weird because I use none of
doing
that.
pythons, baby.
Yeah, man. I don't know
From
how
coding
big
in
they
Python to fucking building them, bitch.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
that straight, dude. Speaking of snakes, last night though, Will put a guy in an anaconda vice, and then I had the bright idea to Steve Irwin. As I'm on the apron, I go, "As you see there, he's got him locked in a headlock, mate. crikey, he's got him locked in a headlock."
Where was this?
This was in Mariana, and me and Will are the bad guys here. And so it's like, my whole thing is, I'm gonna make Will break character somehow in a match.
Try to get him to giggle or something.
Yeah, and like I see the guy he's got in the anaconda vice struggling, but he's putting his hand over his face laughing. And I go, "Oh, he's got the arm cinched in. He's got the anaconda vice. He's gonna take him off. Crikey, mate." I get in the ring and I'm hitting moves and I'm talking shit, but the whole time keeping up the Australian accent. And then I got hit so hard and I go, "Ow, that hurt." He knocked the Australian accent out of me. So I just wanted to see how long I could keep up the bit too. So
That's fantastic.
So like anytime I get to do something like that with Will, it's like you see FGA, Blackwell and Beckett, you get Cody Downs and Will Steffen, like just it's it's just me and him being fucking goose.
Yeah.
And seeing who can pop the other person and making the crowd laugh. So when we came out last night in Mariana, we're bad guys. We don't care. The crowd laughs at us because I mean we're goofy. We came out in the Dolly Parton cutoffs.
Love it.
The mini cowboy hats.
Absolutely love it.
I go, "Will, I've got an even better idea." So we come out to 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
Icing on the cake.
Here's the other kicker. Even more icing on the cake. So you know those mops that you can like grab that has a little squeeze thing on the end of the handle?
Yeah. Like the foam ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Will came out riding that and using the little squeeze thing as a saddle. So like they had two of them, but I'm like, "Hey, Will, you want to ride bitch on one of these, or do you just want to be individual cowboys?" And so like the whole time we're like, "Hey, we're here for doing the main event for the second time. You know why? Because we're the draw here. Speaking of draws, put them up, partner. Pew, pew, pew." And I would go to like hand the mic back to the announcer guy, and I'm like, "Here you go, man." And then he'd like go to grab it. I go, "Pew, pew." Pew, pew. And I went to hand it to a little kid, and I go, "Pew, pew."
Y'all have like a big giant where you come out of, like at Vino's, y'all do the tarps and stuff, or y'all just like in some back room, in like a where like was it in a building outside?
It was in a building, and they had they have like their own little professional setup, like a curtain with their logo and stuff on it. And I mean, that stuff we're slowly trying to get at Vino's, but that.
The curtain, dude, yeah, it's everything's expensive.
Yeah, and I think the good part about it is, man, especially with what we got at Vino's, like they're at Vino's, the biggest known punk rock venue here in the state.
Oh, for sure.
And so much history behind it, rich, grungy.
Yeah.
It's again a wonderful place, but it is it's. They know what they're gonna get into, which is complete unhinged fuckery.
Well,
and
dude, yeah. The first time I seen it when we went, I was already like drunk going in. There's a vlog actually of me meeting Sleazy.
Oh man!
In the parking lot. He just passed me. He's like, "What are you doing, brother?" Like just like the nicest guy. And I'm like, "Hey, we're going in here, man. We're gonna watch some wrestling." I'm just out of my mind. And then he does the death match there.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is the most punk rock shit that's ever happened in this punk rock venue, and it has nothing to do with music at all.
Well, I mean, wrestling in itself is kind of punk rock at your roots, because punk rock originated, fuck the man, DIY, do it yourself, and do it your own way. Well, that's kind of what wrestling is. That's kind of the whole moniker of where punk rock strong style came from. I was just thinking of that moniker because there's like Texas strong style, Tennessee strong style, Japanese, British strong style. I wanted to do something that I relate to, which is punk rock. I was a punk kid, but never knew of anything. Like the closest thing we had to a cool little punk venue in Batesville was the Depot. So
The Depot.
The
Home
guy,
Depot.
the guy that played Queen Anne's Revenge.
Yeah,
week.
Justin. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he played at the Depot, and I may have seen him there.
That's a solid probability. That guy's played everywhere.
Jeff from Wake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he mentioned like how we had a skate park in Batesville, and I'm like, oh, dude, I remember all of that. It's so crazy to see how many people came from Batesville and now like what they're doing. And so it's like it's just all art in its own form. Like this is the art of violence, I guess you would say. Brutal art too.
Yeah,
because like after that, like. It was bad enough when I would hit Will, his blood would fly off of him. And we had people, is that real blood? And I'm like,
what do you spit in your face?
So he spit what they call green mist in my face.
Okay.
I don't know what's in it. All I know is some of it got in my eyes and it burned like a motherfucker. So,
yeah.
You know, so that was cool. That's an old thing that originated in Japan. Great Buddha. I think Sasuke was another one that did it. And then Tajiri took it over, and then more common today, you see Asuka from WWE do it. And so, like it's not common you see it on the independent scene. So,
oh, okay, I see.
Excuse me. So it was kind of cool to like for that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man. That,
you good?
That carbonation's got me going. But
burp it up, Daddy.
Yeah. No. Look, but it's he spit that in my face, and it burned, but like it still looks cool on the shirt because even when I washed like the gear, it's still blood stained. I still got like the green mist stain on the shirt, so it's like blood, mist, sweat. Like you can see like some of the sweat stains, some of the dirt from the ring, and
you gonna wear it again?
You know, I thought about maybe not the shirt,
but
the other gear. I would like to do that for sure.
Yeah.
But I would like to do that for like special occasions and stuff.
Because you got your logo on there and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it was very much I wanted to. Somebody had mentioned, oh, they brought out the white gear. Shit's about to get real. So it's like, that's the one thing I've always said is like, look, if there's gonna be bloodshed in a match, I'm gonna wear white gear regardless whether it's mine or theirs because it's like gonna show up on that gear. Really good too, and I mean, there's part of me that like wants to like maybe shadow box a shirt, and if I can't, like if I don't want to do anything with it, I thought about like donating it to Vino's or something. Like me and Will have thought about like trying to do something cool for Vino's that kind of puts over the wrestling product, but kind of give back to that place because it's brought me and him so much joy like outside of that, and like when we're in town we try to make a show too.
Did you ever do stuff like because it's insane in there, it's truly crazy. The vibe is nuts. The energy is you can taste it. It's so insane. Was there stuff like that you've done up to that moment, or was this kind of like y'all did the first one and went, what the fuck was that?
So we've tried it in other bars for another company, and didn't quite work out.
Like dive bars and shit?
Yeah. But like that one was like when me and Buck came out, like normally outside of that, like you look at this and I've been told we can't buy you as a bad guy. You don't look like a bad and then like what is it? I've had conversations with people and they're like, oh, we really can't buy you as a bad guy. You're a sweetheart. And I go, oh, thank you. Deep down, I'm a piece of shit.
And you're like, oh, thank you. And then you cut him.
Yeah,
now do you believe me?
No, exactly.
Motherfucker.
So like, what was it? I was joking around. This kid was just hanging around our merch table. And I didn't know how to strike up with the conversation.
So I body slammed him.
Dude, I thought about it.
He just grabbed him by the neck and threw the table.
Yeah, no, exactly. But like my inner buddy and Chris kicked in and I go, so kid, you ever thought about having your T levels checked? That's all I could think of. I'm like, how do you strike up a conversation with a child that's just been like awkwardly hanging around you?
Sure.
And Will is like on that note, he like turns his head because he's trying not to like laugh in this kid's face. So we, like I said, we did all that stuff last night, and we get in the back, and there are people that are like, every show, they're like, there's no way they're gonna top the dumbass stuff they're doing, and then it's like me and Will are like, oh, just wait. We'll figure it out. And
Top shenanigans.
Well, look, I told Will, I messaged him about 2 weeks ago, and I said, man, this wrestling thing's pretty cool. I'd say we're pretty dedicated to it. But I've got, on a real note, you ever notice that our dedication to tomfoolery and fuckery is, just as strong as our dedication to wrestling?
Make a good YouTube channel.
Man, we've thought about it too, but we just, like I said, I live in Batesville right now, and so I'm like, once I get
change that.
Yeah, dude. My plan is to relocate to Central Arkansas again because that's where I went to college. I kind of cut my teeth as an adult here, so I'm really comfortable with the area, And Batesville, it's Ramsey Mountain, so like to get into town, you got to drive like 15 minutes just to get into town, and on this mountain where at least once a month an 18-wheeler will turn over because it's so steep and huge curve. So there's sometimes I'm late to work, and they're like, yeah, you going down the mountain? Yep. 18-wheeler? Yep. So it's like, if you know, you know. And I'm just like, man.
2 of them. Wow. Damn.
Oh, man.
Go back to pushing a broom.
The scariest one was when a gas truck flipped.
That shit's scary.
Because it's like, static electricity, and it's metal hitting asphalt, so it's going to spark anyway. If you're like driving down behind a truck with a trailer and you see a chain hit and you just see the spark, so I could, I bet it's more scary for the driver too. And it's
hell
like,
yeah.
How do you explain that? Like, oh, hey, I flipped my truck. Were you going up Ramsey Mountain again? Yeah, we'll just take the 3-hour detour and go around town next time.
Yeah, don't waste the $100,000 truck. Yeah,
man. And like I said, there's been some scary.
It's terrifying.
I've never been in any actual super accidents like that. I'd say the worst one I got into was my buddy was changing the song on his iPod. And he rear-ended a guy, and the guy he rear-ended was our principal. And that principal was also my bus driver, so I had to get on the bus the next day and look him in the eye, and I go, hey, I'm going to apologize for his dumb ass.
Sorry, Mr. Kringle.
Yeah. But, the cool thing is like I was a shithead in school, and then I cleaned
Imagine
up
a school so small, Kurt, that the fucking principal is also a bus driver.
Man,
that is wild to me. Like, no.
Yeah, because
he's making an extra $48.
Well, some I know some teachers do bus driving.
Oh, hell yeah!
And I think it's because maybe a separate salary. I never thought to ask.
They get paid more for sure.
They got to, because I wouldn't volunteer to be taking people home.
Ain't no fucking bunch of kids.
Yeah, it's like they don't even pay me enough to do the job I do.
I don't want to take them to McDonald's, let alone home.
Yeah,
across the city.
I don't even want to take my own kids.
I don't have none fucking little kids, dude.
Yeah, exactly. See, I don't have kids either, but it's like if I had kids, I wouldn't even take my own kids out.
It'd be so boring. Oh, it's so loud. It's so obnoxious. You're just sitting there like,
And then, like, in today's world where kids just fight all the time, man, like that, you see that shit.
We had some pretty good bus
internet.
fights. You never had no good bus fights?
Oh, dude, I got in a fight on a bus once.
I watched a dude get absolutely devastated on a bus once. I was like, holy fuck. And the teachers had to come on and pull him apart. The dude's face is just fucking fucked off. I was like, wow.
Man, I've seen some wild fights at school, and some of the more brutal ones wasn't with the dudes. It was the ladies.
Always the ladies. The nails come out, the blood.
I legit watched one girl, like, get up as she's fighting a girl, and this girl grabs this other girl by the hair, and this is on the fucking sidewalk. Bink, bam! And just throws her back, and I'm like, oh.
They're ruthless.
Yeah, man.
Real fucking ruthless.
So for all those that like hate on women's wrestling, these broads are ruthless, man. So respect women's wrestling too. Respect women in general. Like, I joke around about that.
Isn't there like a bunch in the... What's the new one? AEW?
Yeah, they've got like a full-on like women's division.
That's what I thought.
And it's right now there's so much going on with that company that the women get.
How do y'all get in on that shit? Y'all, I've seen y'all do some cool shit too. How do y'all get into something bigger? What's it? How do you move up in this fucking thing? You create your own shit.
You almost have to create your own thing, but you have to get like out there or do something wild or viral. Like, I'm surprised no one hit up Chris and Buddy over the cocaine bit. With
that shit went viral on multiple channels.
Yeah, it did. And then you have these elders, what I call the elder statesmen in wrestling, who these guys are fucking killing the business. And I'm like, dude, it's flavors of ice cream, man. There's everything.
Everybody in that room was cheering, dickhead.
Yeah, Matt Williams once told me.
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck you, Matt.
Matt.
But the
bitch ass.
But I will never not say like bad things about him other than he's a piece of shit. Like in character, but like he told me one day, he's like, well, listen, man, when we were feuding in ASWF, he's like, do we do comedy? Do we want to do Ruthless? He's like, thing is he's like, you're a funny guy, so it's like they want to see you kick. Hold on, they want to see you kick my ass, so we'll fucking do it. But if you have everybody acting like Stone Cold Steve Austin, when Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, no one's gonna give a fuck about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do you get what I'm saying here, Grayson? And I'm like, yes, sir. So,
wait, Stone Cold's here?
Yeah, Stone Cold's here. What?
Here I am.
What?
Texas rattlesnake.
What?
What? What?
Oh. So Will's got me doing
one beer.
That. What?
2 beers.
What?
3 beers.
What? Whiskey? What? Vodka? What? So me and Will have been poisoning locker rooms.
As you should.
Doing, because me and him would do we'll go around doing the Stone Cold. It's just like people ask us what it is, and it's like I will say it off camera. I'm not going to say it on camera to ruin the allure of it.
Right.
But
gotta keep it kayfabe, brother.
Yeah, keep the kayfabe of it, and keep it a little bit like off the rails. So it's like I got into the habit of doing that. Like if something happens in my actual life, like for instance, I dropped my drink on the floor. I'm like, oh.
Oh, it's in you now.
Yeah,
like it's part of your thing.
Oh man, so if I dedicate myself to something like a bit, it consumes me. So like after Terry Funk died, we heard a story about Mick Foley was telling a story about the time a fan stabbed Terry Funk in Texas, and Mick was like, well, Terry, did you sue the guy? And he's like, Terry Funk gave me a death glare. And he's like, what did you just say? He's like, did you sue him? And he's like, Cactus, why would I want to sue the man when he was possibly giving me the greatest compliment he could? He hated me so much he tried to kill me. So like after
so it worked.
Yeah, so then for a while when somebody would say something, I would like shoot a look at him and be like, what did you just say? And so I'll work it
Also,
out.
that's an insane way to think, by the way. Like, you shouldn't just go around and be like, well, he tried to kill me. I'm doing a good job.
Dude, we've had fans jump the rail. Me and Will, there's actually a fight that went viral in Georgia. I won't name the company or the wrestler, but there was a fight
mid match.
Like right after the match, the guy got up, smacked the cap off a fan's head, and bam, headbutts the dude. They start fighting. We're breaking the stuff up. Now, this fucking fan is trying to fight everybody in the parking lot. There's a few times where, he's talking shit to wrestlers. We're trying to calm him down. Fucking, we get him to his truck. He's yelling at the promoter guy. Yeah. Fucking yeehaw. Anyway,
Yeehaw,
he
brother.
fucking, I'm like, dude, these guys are being calm with you. Like, why are you, go home, man. Stew it off. And he said something. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? I slammed his fucking truck door, and I go, let's see what we'll fucking do then. Then fucking Danny, bless his fucking heart, has grabbed me. I'm yelling at this guy.
He got you.
Well, it's like, thing is, we're trying to calm the guy down, you know. Now, granted, the wrestler in question, it does instigate it because there's a difference between talking shit and then touching a fan. That's personal property.
Yeah.
Some places look at that as assault.
I would think that's more fun. I mean, yeah, it's definitely assault. I mean, that is what it is. You assaulted somebody.
But
that's the definition of it. But it seems like it'd be more fun.
Yeah. It's wild though. Like me and Will, like when we first started as FGA, we were bad guys. I'm surprised we didn't have people hopping the rail at us because we were threatening to fight their children. Like when we
you think you're tough? I'll beat your kid up.
Yeah, I'll beat your kid up. What was it?
It's like the opposite of my dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah, my dad could beat up your dad. Oh, you think you could take me, sir? Well, I know I could take him. And I'm pointing at the kid. And,
you raising him right? Let's see.
I've seen incidents where fans have, like, heavier set fans have, like, tried to go through a guardrail, and they got stuck one time. And this guy went up at this dude stuck and just kicks his fan in the face. And
What the fuck? Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
So the thing is it's like, I look at it as the guardrail is there for protection, but security needs to do their job. And sometimes, like, we don't have security at Vino's.
Security.
Yeah.
I mean, I work there and I'm there, but like I'm just watching.
Yeah.
With everybody else, to be honest.
Man, so the wildest thing that's happened to me at Vino's outside.
Somebody would have to remind me in the moment, like, "Hey, you're supposed to break this up." I'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. Hey, y'all take that outside. So like when we did the match with Buddy and Chris, I had a goal. I wanted us to try to fight outside the building, which would have been cool, and into the street. That would have been wild. The thing is,
that's a little deadly.
That and the cops would have gotten called.
Absolutely.
And then we probably would have never wrestled again. But like, that was my thing. Is like when I want to go fucking wild and balls out on.
I mean, y'all did the bar. Y'all did the bar. Broke a table. Fucking. Yeah. I mean, y'all went for it.
Yeah. No, Buddy body slammed me on the floor.
Yes. So. And was it you that jumped off the fucking bar?
Yeah, jumped off the bar onto him.
Crazy.
I've had my fair share of crazy moments there, which is weird because this is like, I'm a lot older than I am. You would think like, hey man, you might want to slow down on the crazy stuff, but it's like I was married and then relationship, so it's like I got people I can go home to, so it's like I need to protect myself a little bit, so I'm not having to be like, oh, hey, honey. So what happened? Well, I did something stupid.
My leg went the way it's not supposed to go.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So,
and I'm missing 3 toes.
Dude, I've the gnarliest injury I've had from wrestling is I broke my ankle, and I've got screws and plates in my ankle. How your ankle sits like this.
Yeah.
I was doing a training thing with Will, and Will didn't do anything. I just went to do a corner where I go kick off the turnbuckle pad. But I was like kicking off the rope instead of the turnbuckle pad. The rope rolled.
Ooh,
so how
buddy.
your foot sits like this, my foot went.
Love it.
Broke.
Yeah,
I was supposed to wrestle a match that night.
Nope.
And I was so bummed that I couldn't do it.
Did you do it warming up?
Yeah, I was doing it before the show.
Fuck.
Because me and Will get to the show, and
y'all really do.
Yeah.
Y'all are in there toting around for like hours, really.
Oh yeah, we'll just get in the ring, fuck around, do the wrestling stuff, and then we do what we learned at jiu-jitsu. And if you want a good jiu-jitsu place to go to, Arkansas Grappling Club in Little Rock. Yeah.
No, I don't think I'll be doing jiu-jitsu anytime soon.
Oh man, hey, look, Mark Sniff, hell of a dude. Did not know he was familiar with the Vino scene, but apparently he's done a lot like, in that area with Buddy and Chris, and like they've told me some wild stories about Mark. So it's like I'll let them tell those stories, but it's like me and Will describe Mark as the anime dad, like the happy-go-lucky anime dad. But you look at him, there's a fucking killer in those eyes. It's like, yeah, that guy knows exactly what he can do. He knows your life is gonna end.
He's the guy that's laughing while he's pulling your ear off.
Yeah,
like the Joker.
Well, they were trained by a little bit by Billy Robinson, and like if you're like familiar with wrestling and MMA at all, or like deep diving into it, Billy Robinson's kind of like the Godfather. He kind of helped get catch wrestling back here in the United States. This guy was Andre the Giant's handler.
That's crazy.
So like,
cool.
Legit, like a story I had heard was like, he took a girl out. He was going to go home with this lady, and he told Andre, "Don't get in trouble." But he like paid the bartender, "Hey, if he gets out of line, call me. Don't call the cops." Well, then the cops get there because apparently Andre gets super drunk, and
50 beers later,
yeah, they call Billy there, and Billy's like trying to get Andre to do something. Andre's a big guy; he's drunk, belligerent, hard to deal with. And fucking apparently, Billy choked him out and drug his big ass in his car. So I'm like,
anybody want a peanut?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that guy was massive.
Dude, that guy's hands were huge. They said you could pass like a silver dollar through his like ring. I think he holds the record for most beers drank, like 120 12-ounce cans. And I'm like, man,
it's a keg.
Yeah, you
The
know,
man just drank a keg by himself in an afternoon.
like I think me and Will have probably topped out at like 30 apiece, and we did that earlier.
30, I
this
think, is
summer.
my like top,
Yeah, 'cause
which is so much alcohol.
it is, and it's like it's rough because we were.
Kurt's falling asleep.
Oh man. So hey, look, I'm an old man. My stories get boring. I
No,
know.
no.
So
Kurt just falls asleep like that.
So me and Will have this thing where it's like during the summer at his place because he's got a back patio. Like if there's nights we don't feel like hitting up D's or Vino, it's like we want to stay at home and drink. We'll just go get us some B double L's, Bud Light Limes, or regular Bud Lights. And we'll sit there and just have like patio beers and have like his little stereo out there, and we're just like listening to old CDs and stuff.
Patio beers, I like that.
Yeah, and we'll just sit there and shoot the shit. And there for a while, we had like a group of people there. And this is going to segue into another story because he got a new neighbor.
Bring it on.
He got a new neighbor. And
he wasn't into patio beers, was he?
Well, she was out there drinking patio wine.
Oh, patio wine. Ooh, dangerous.
So, yeah. And,
might turn into a patio Karen if you're not.
Yeah. But the whole moral of this story is Will can tell it better than I can. Now, I'm normally like a pretty calm drinker. I'm like, hey, man, relax. But I'm rowdy, but for some reason when I drink, I want to like be productive too.
So no, you're one of those.
So like I clean up after myself.
We could fix this deck, dude. Huh? Like, dude, we're 20 beers deep.
Man,
yeah, get the screwdriver out.
Apparently, I did a whole 12-pack by myself. A whole like one of like the 750 ml bottles of Jaeger straight.
What the fuck?
And then I did like 20 something jelly.
That's too many. That's too much stuff.
So
you're gonna die.
Yeah. Sometimes I go all out.
Sometimes,
so,
sometimes I damn near kill myself with the booze.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll fucking die in wrestling. Sometimes I'll die by my own vice. And
you don't tell me how to die, bitch.
Yeah. But like we were over at somebody's house, and like nobody's gonna tell me not to or how to die. Not even me. But I was over at someone's house, and apparently I got drunk enough that I did their like a whole week's worth of dishes.
That's amazing.
Clean, and then they're like,
"You just drunk like being a nice."
And they're like, "Hey man, we'll buy all your alcohol all the time if you come." But I'm I'm one of those hospitable people. So like if somebody invites me to like a barbecue or something, I'm like, "Hey, help clean it up or whatever," like because you've got me as a guest in your home. I'm very much a campfire rules kind of person.
Right.
I want to leave anything better than I found.
Yeah.
So it's it really pisses me off when I see a locker room full of grown men that talk about, hey, we are grown adults here. We can do this and that, but they leave their fucking trash on the floor and the trash can is right there.
Right.
I'm like, man, you realize that's why venues don't take this kind of stuff anymore because we don't clean up after ourselves. Yeah, they have people that clean it up, but you know what? Like, make somebody else's job easy. Like, for fucking sakes, if you're at a restaurant, get on the plate when you're sitting there.
Oh, see, I do that too. Yeah,
Make the busser's job easy.
Yeah, I would take the shit to the kitchen myself if I could.
Dude, I do that when I go eat at D's. Like, if I actually grab something to eat, like, I'll throw all my trash away, and then I'll just, like, walk my thing back. And, like, here you go. Thank you for the food. Because, look.
It was delicious. I'm going to go have diarrhea now.
Man, I didn't think I could stomach a whole calzone from there, but all I'd had to eat yesterday was, like, a chicken sandwich and a protein cookie. And then I did 5 rounds at jiu-jitsu with Will on open mats. Then we go and we do wrestling. We're there before the show doing wrestling and doing stuff we learned in class in the ring. So it's like for like an hour, it's like going. And
then the match.
Yeah, then the match, which thank God that was Maine. And
do y'all stay and help break down on those bigger events like that?
So that is one of their permanent venues.
Okay.
So it's, we don't really have to break down a lot because they do training and stuff there too.
That's cool.
But me and him try to help stay and help break down because there's some people that think they're too good to help break down or like, they've got a far drive and it's like, yeah, me and Will have driven to Georgia. We've driven to Detroit and stuff. Yeah. We've helped set up and tear down. Some of that was just so we could talk to a promoter and be like, hey, can we get on the show?
Wheeling and dealing, baby.
You don't have to pay us. But let us show you what we can do, and if you want to have us back, then we'll negotiate.
Right.
And
first one's on us.
yeah, first one's on
get
us.
it.
Like, let's show you what we can. And so, like, me and Will, it's cool to have to wrestle each other at new shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool that it's comfortable, but you only learn so much wrestling the same person.
Yeah.
So I get out there, I want to learn. So it's like, I look at wrestling again as its own little art form. The way I wrestle Will there, or like if it's me and Will,
the way I cut his forehead open and
yeah, the way I
spit blood all in his face.
Yeah, and just beat him with that chain mercilessly, and then turn around and did a pose with that chain in my mouth, and some of the fans are like, yeah, and then I'm looking, some of them are like,
oh, if you go back and look at those photos in particular, there's so many people just like, what the fuck? Like they did not know what they were getting into. Well, because word is spreading.
Yeah.
And each one has been bigger than the last one.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest one. And it's just, man, the looks on people's faces.
Dude, apparently they were turning people away at the door.
They were.
And I'm like, man, I hate it that we had to do it. It's cool that we like.
That's the problem you want to have, man.
Yeah, that's a problem you want to have.
Yeah.
But that gentleman right there in the back, I cannot say enough good things about that guy either. His name is Brian.
Me, right there?
Oh, there you are. Yeah. Very handsome fella. And the guy in front of you in the beard, that's
he's very nice.
That's Brian Lovell. And a hell of a dude. We go and we hang out with him and we watch wrestling pay-per-views.
He puts up with me screaming insane things into his ear. Because we've been on the same side for all the matches. So when it's like we've got our own little group back there now. And I'm the guy for screaming, put it in his ass! Kill him!
Grab his dick and twist it!
Yeah, literally.
And then Bruce really did that shit.
He did it.
He did that, man. That hurt. As did it, he's like, sorry, bud. Throws me. But, like, Brian, like, we actually went and watched Wrestle Dream at his house. That dude made some fucking pulled pork. Like, put it on the smoker and everything. Life-changing. So it was, he's got like a lot of good like merch ideas and stuff too, because he's worked in it. I think he did stuff at like the Rev Room and stuff like that. I don't know the full logistics of it, but he had to deal with me and Will in a car doing Stone Cold and Terry Funk accents. So there for a while, Will would do like he would do the whole like Terry Funk, hey, how are you? And so I would sit there and like, if you know Mick Foley is Cactus Jack, he's very soft spoken, but then he squeals. So I would sit there, Terry, when you did this to me, my feelings, everything, my body. So I'd do the Mick Foley squeal. They would like wait for it, and I would just like draw it out. And then when I would do it, But like, so like the car rides are interesting because it's just me and Will thinking, what's the most ridiculous thing we can do? And how are we going to top that? Because we need to find a way to top that because we don't want to peak. Because everything does. But the other conversations that me and him have are, man, how fortunate we are to get to be able to do this thing that we've loved ever since we were young.
Yep.
This has to be a labor of love, too, because like any form of entertainment, there's a lot of heartbreak in it.
A heartbreak? Like... no money in it for most of the whole time.
Yeah, and when you do get most of the money,
the moments are what you're searching for.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
the drug.
Yeah, that's the high that I get. It's like,
shit is euphoric.
You've got to really love what you do to be able to do it and do it at this level for so long. And to me, it's just wild that I get paid to do this thing that I've loved ever since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I get to travel with my best friend in a car.
Sick.
So you're telling me I get to beat people up, hang out with my best friend, sometimes beat my best friend to a pulp, and paid for it? Nice. And like we have
to roam around a new city and do all that kind of shit too. Meet new people,
faces.
It's one of my favorite things to do, man.
We did a seminar in San Antonio, Texas, And so we got to check out, like,
That's dope.
I'm like, you want to take a day out early, like something we don't get to do a lot, take a day early and just go sightseeing.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
like, that's what we did, was we went and saw some sights, checked out, like, the Riverwalk Mall that's got the fucking
Isn't it
river
crazy?
going through it.
Yeah.
Coolest thing, then the little duck
People in the boats
there.
and shit. Yeah.
I swore we ran into somebody at the cartel in that mall because they were just like all dressed up. Like, you think Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad cartel, that's how they were dressed sitting at the table. And I'm like, well, let's get our fucking check because I don't want to die here. Someone's going to die.
Nah.
Is someone going to die?
Nah, not in that amount of public. That's
Yeah.
like the most public.
Yeah. But
Cool fucking boardwalk, though. I
Yeah,
will
it
say,
is.
very pretty.
you know, I had a boss say, while you're down there, you need to visit the Alamo, man. And I go,
We
go-
were just talking about
go,
it
Jeff,
before you got here.
really? I go, Jeff, man, look, I'm not going to have time to fucking visit the Alamo. He's like, it is so small.
It's this room and that one. It's the
Yeah.
smallest thing in the world. You can't
But
believe
it's
it.
so crazy to see that. And then me and Will have a video for where we went to the San Fernando Cathedral because apparently it's haunted, and it's sat where like the first door, like where the first like actual shot at the Alamo happened, I believe, or like where the original church stood. They've got like a seal. So me and Will are walking around the gift shop, and he's like snapping it, and it's Jesus, and you look up and it's just a statue of Jesus.
That's funny.
So like so that'll pop up on his memories and send that to me, and he'll send it to me, and it will never not get a laugh out of me because I think of like how fun that was. And the seminar we went to was AEW wrestler Christian Cage, so we learned a
Damn.
lot from him. And
How,
so,
what does something like that look like? Do they actually? Can you interact, or is it just like a?
so
Here's the deal. Bye.
you can interact like with Christian. We just all of us had so many questions, and he was so gracious to give us this information. Even though he, for some reason, has a fascination with people and their dead family members. If you keep up with the AEW, it's pretty fucking cool.
It's a strange fascination.
Well, he's got this running bit like that started with Jack Perry, where he's like, "You have a father, and your dad's dead," you know. And then there's this new guy named Nick Wayne. He's like,
Are you
"Nick
sad
Wayne?"
about it?
Yeah, and then he's like, "Nick Wayne, I heard you have a father," and there's a pause. And the fan's like, "Oh, no." And he's like, "And your dad's dead. I also heard your father was a wrestler." "Well, I've never heard of him, so he must not have been that good, so you have nothing to live up to." And I'm like, damn. Like, he's a menace, but I love it. Like, I'm like, oh. Like, if somebody said that to me, I'd probably...
That's pretty good.
I would either probably chuckle because I've got a dark sense of humor, or I would just kick the shit out of him.
I'd be
One of the
chuckling
two.
for sure.
I would probably a little A and B, just like, hey, let me finish laughing, then I'm gonna fuck you up. But
It's pretty brutal.
like, so there's some seminars you have the physical aspect. We went to a seminar for a wrestler called Super Crazy, and he doesn't speak English, so it was a very physical one. So we learned a lot of like lucha libre stuff.
That's
for
fun.
Super Crazy. And
Was this also in San Antonio?
this so Christian Cage was in San Antonio. Super Crazy was in I think near St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
And then we've done, you know, cool little seminars with Rocky Romero from New Japan, and that's where Buck Skinner went to school, do some wrestling school at. Which, by the way, November 4th, APW is bringing in one of their a New Japan trainer, Fred Rosher. He wrestled for WWE for a while. Is Darren Young.
It's gonna be at some one of y'all's schools.
It's going to be at APW show at the I think it's the Mariana Civic Center or something like that. I don't remember the venue, but it's November 4th. And I
You
think
know what
he's
else is
holding
November
some-
4th?
your show.
Crashcast cover show.
Yes.
Let me do a plug real quick. No,
no, go for it. Plug your
No,
stuff.
no,
Because
just-
I told Will, I go, oh man, like the thing about wrestling is we love it so much, but it makes us so
You miss.
it saddens us that we miss so much.
Yeah.
But it's like that's why me and him, like when we go to shows, we try to buy band merch and
Them's
then
the
wear
breaks.
it. Is that way? It's like, hey, look,
I'm still trying to work on a way to get y'all some Lame Johnny t-shirts.
man, dude, me and him are looking forward to that too.
I got to
It's
figure
'cause
it out because we have a dope ass design. I don't know if I sent it to you or not.
I gotta see it.
It's like some. Those are Shimfo shirts. It's like Sam Elliott. Shout out to Zachary Carlisle. He made it. It's dude is so fucking dope. It's basically, it looks kind of like Sam Elliott, but his eyes are crossed out with big black X's. It just says Lame Johnny, and it's got like a wanted poster style border around it. It's so fucking sick.
Fucking let me and Will know about it, because we've been on the hunt for some Lame Johnny merch. And
If I knew how to fucking make a screen, I'd just do it myself. I haven't made one since fucking high school.
And
To make screens? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Maybe I'll bring that 4-color press over here and
yeah,
do some screen printing.
hey, and like I said, you
Well, show's in what? 2 weeks? October 28th.
yeah.
Finos, brother.
Oh,
We're gonna come down there and pull your fucking tits off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Little Pizza Shop of Horrors. I love the name of it.
It's
too,
great,
because,
yeah.
like,
The flyers also. Whoever makes y'all's fucking flyers is
Lucas Tubbs
is a
did
damn
this one, and he is a fucking
all of the events, the flyers y'all have made have been fucking phenomenal.
man.
They're consistent as fuck. Y'all make like 20 different ones. It's brilliant. I
So-
love that promo angle. I
Yeah.
want to steal it for shows.
Like, so we are lucky enough to have guys
for the
like,
one we do, for the cover show we do.
Oh yeah, man. It's like, it's so interesting because like now it's like, oh, the thing is random pictures but band stuff, like the band Heels.
Yes.
Fucking love those guys. And it's
They're
just
great.
like Josh McClain will just like put like a random picture of 2 kitty cats, Heels. So I had to jump on the Kevin James fanboy train and the meme train.
Everybody.
And then did
Sweet
the
Christ.
FGA coming to a town near you, and it's Kevin James and Leah Remini. So it's and I'm like, look, man. The way I try to promote the wrestling shows at Vino's is I do a meme. So it's like I had this C-3PO on a tech deck.
Right.
It's like me shredding my way into Vino's Little Pizza Shop of Horrors on October 28th.
It works. It works. Put that shit on TikTok.
Well, man, I need to start getting into TikTok and Twitter. It's like
I feel
keep
like
up
if
with
you're a
the
wrestler,
booking.
that's the great spot. Like, fuck that app all to hell. But if that's the thing to do, because you can always be the character you are. And
Yeah.
always have new content to put out, no matter how many times a day you want to do it.
Oh yeah, it's
Y'all's, what are they called? Promos?
yeah,
Cutting a promo? Yeah.
wrestling promos, the highlight reels and stuff. Like the last highlight reel I made, and that was the first one I made in a long time, was that one for mine and Will's dog collar match.
Oh, right.
And I got questioned by a buddy of mine. You're wrestling on a show called New Metal, and why did you use Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath as the highlight reel for that song? I go, Bubba, I listened to so much new metal that night that I needed a fucking mental break from it. Now, some people love that, and that's cool if you do, but it's like, look, man, unless it's fucking Creed, because me and Will, like, jokingly, I think it started as a joke. I'm like, man, Creed.
And then
kinda
you get
fucking
into it.
rocks. And then
And,
we start listening to
They
it.
got riffs.
Yeah, they do. Well, dude, Mark Tremonti.
He's a badass, yeah.
Does not get enough credit for what
No,
he does.
doesn't. It's
as a
because he was in
musician.
Creed.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been the other thing. The other thing was not that good. I didn't.
Are you
like
talking
his
about
other band.
Alter Bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
I was
they
not a
do
fan.
Edge's theme, and that's about the only thing I know from them.
Yeah.
That's decent. But other than that, like, Creed's got so many hits. Like, you can name off Creed
30
hits.
fucking hits.
Yeah,
they
like,
had,
so,
all the hits.
There was a we were listening to My Own Prison on a car ride home, me and Will, and in My Own Prison, he's like, should have been there on a Sunday morning banging my head. I go, Will, when he says that part of the song, man, I feel that.
Yo, when Scott Stapp said he was there on Sunday morning banging his head, bro,
I felt that.
I felt that shit.
Yeah, in my soul. Because as a kid, I used to go to church, and I used to have to go to church with my grandparents.
You better have been. Little fucking sinner.
Dude, the worst sin
Out
I've
here
ever...
cutting your fucking friends' faces and stuff.
The worst
Bad. Shame on you.
sin that I've ever committed was I went to church on shrooms one time.
Fuck yeah, you
at
did.
16.
Was Jesus there?
I felt like
For real this
because
time?
this was the whole experience that I can remember was my cousin was sitting next to me.
Was
And we
also
went
on
to a-
shrooms?
No, he was
Okay.
he was straightening up, and I go, hey dude, I'm gonna do these, so make sure grandma and grandpa.
I want to
don't
meet Christ,
know.
bro. For real.
Yeah. Well, this is a Pentecostal church.
Oh,
So
shit.
they believe in tongues. So they're
Shit got
speaking
real
in
weird.
tongues. Yeah, I'm looking at fucking Michael. I go, what the fuck is going on, dude? I go to the bathroom and he finds me. He's like, dude, I find you crying. He's like, and all you could say was, hey, don't let them give me to the devil. Don't let them give me to the goat man.
They're gonna know.
They're gonna fucking know.
I went to meet Jesus. Turns out Satan was in there.
Yeah. What a life. Yeah. Oh, no, man. I was bamboozled somewhere here. What church is Grandma and Grandpa going to? The Church of fucking Satan?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's like the worst thing I've ever done was go to church on shrooms. And I, I've cut back to drinking now, but it's like I've had some experiences with a few psychs. And it's like, oh, man, that's a journey. To some people, I mean, if that's your thing, cool. But... it's like wild.
I can't do it.
No, I've
always wanted to. I can't do it.
Man, I've did it a couple times, and I'm
fascinated by it.
Yeah, no,
it's definitely doing something.
Well, they're like running medical stuff on it now, and then like
huge.
using shrooms to.
It's huge now. Cure PTSD and shit.
Yeah, and you know what? Good that we allow that.
They've legitimately cured it in like a handful of like soldiers, so that's amazing. It's like, well, we need to fast track that fucking shit.
Yeah,
come on now, and it's been around for the whole time.
Yeah, and it's like. Well, it's the big pharma.
Well, it's weird because like everything the hippies were saying back in the 60s, and now it's like, oh, they was right about all of it.
Yeah,
but we just got to figure out a way to make this shit profitable. Yeah.
Yeah, because
so we had to make it illegal.
Grow this stuff at home,
in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Maybe not Kurt's bathroom. Somebody's bathroom.
Yeah, someone's bathroom, or not. Maybe not the Vino's bathroom.
No. Well, there's shit growing in there for sure, but it's you don't want it.
Man, yeah, it's
that's the wrong kind of psychedelic.
I'm afraid to use the toilet there. I love that venue, but there's sometimes I'll go to take.
Every time I see it, I'm like,
It's like, man. The Misfits probably pissed here.
I think I'd rather shit in the street.
Yeah, with all due respect. Love you, Vinos. But this toilet is...
Did you know that this was a part of Vinos?
I was... I think this the pod you did with Will that you were saying this was actually part of the Vinos stage?
Mm-hmm, the original one.
So was it like smaller then, or was it...
well, technically, yeah, it was smaller. This is just a chunk of the plywood that we took out from where the drums were. Well, it's like right in front of the drums, sort of.
So, is this just like
This is just a piece.
You decided that you wanted to take home and make something
Well, we threw most of it away, and then I took a few pieces. One of them is hanging up in Dogtown Barber Lounge, and it's got a photo from the show we did to raise the money. So it's like a full circle photo.
Yeah.
It's got our buddy Noodle crowd surfing in it. And he works at Dogtown, so that hangs up in there. And then there's this table, and then there's another piece that someone else has, and I'm going to say, and then another piece that I have that's reserved, and that's it.
Nice. Dude, speaking of Noodle, he ain't a noodle anymore either. That dude's
what the fuck? He's yoked up, dude.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't even know, and then all of a sudden he's dropping Instagram bombs, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, dude, that's the good thing about being skinny is it's like there's a difference.
You can hide it.
Yeah, you can hide it, and it's like, what is it? I'll see like, oh, like Timmy, he's so buff. Like my nieces are teenagers. You just see him, he's got a 6-pack, and I go, the kid weighs 120 pounds. Right. He looks like Frankenstein's bulimic fucking sister.
Yeah, he's got metabolism issues, Cynthia. Yeah, he's not strong.
Damn it. Yeah, he ain't strong. Like
his body's eating itself.
Yeah, man. Has he ever thought of getting his fucking T levels checked?
Chris is a bitch.
Yeah, dude. Chris and Buddy have poisoned me and my vernacular of some stuff.
They'll leech into you.
Oh man, that's the worst part.
Man, Buddy says things, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get myself in trouble, bro.
Man, he sent us.
He's so funny.
He sent us a voice chat.
I love hanging out with him.
And he's like, man, I could be God's gift to the world someday with all the fucking karate I know. And I'm like, what?
Dude's mind is on another level, dude.
A whole different playing field. But so is Chris's. Like Chris's stand-up is pretty wild too.
It's pretty good. Makes me laugh,
dude. I get a chuckle, and it's I've seen a couple of times where he's did this same bit, but he's like brushed up on it. And I'm like, You know,
keep doing it, keep fine tuning it and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of like any skill. Like you've got to like find something that
I do
you're
that
good
even
at.
with songs. Like we just wrote a brand new song, and you know, if you play it for a few years, and then all of a sudden you go, you know, this would sound dope as fuck if I just change this one little thing,
Yeah.
and then you play it like that forever.
Well, it's like what is it? It's like, for instance, it's like if as a guitar player, you know, it's like, hey, this could fit here, and it's good, but there's something missing. And it could be something as simple as maybe a dive bomb or a pinch harmonic, and then it's like, oh, that's it.
That's it.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's just
You know what's
like,
really frustrating is sometimes it takes a long ass time to figure out what it's missing.
yeah. And then you start doing it, and they're like, "Oh, it sounds better." And you're like, "Oh, this has been out for years. You
That's
didn't
right.
think it sounded good." Well, and the thing is, we're all our own worst critics. Too.
Always.
Like, you know, I'll do a match, and then
You
someone will
ask
be
me,
like,
I'm the worst fucking musician of all time.
man,
Hands down.
dude, bullshit. Like, man, like when you're doing the
Fucking right
solo
riffs, though,
for problems,
Yes.
you know, like
the anti-solo.
yeah, the anti-solo shit rips, and then doing Texas Viking, just that, and I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah. I feel like that,
So-
we wanted to do a music video for that one. I was like, dude, I feel like you have to just get in a tiny little room and just literally pack people all around and jump around for like 30 minutes and then film it.
So
Just to have the energy right. I love that song.
Little kiss ass moment. I actually use Texas Viking for when I fucking deadlift.
Fuck yeah,
On
dude.
like heavy deadlift days, yeah, it's just like. And then if
That's
I'm doing
badass.
like
Heard you hear
hypertrophy,
that?
if I do like hypertrophy, which is just like higher reps at a lower weight.
Ooh, burnouts.
Yes, if I do days like that, then it's overkill by my Motorhead.
Nice.
So it's like I've got to. And then there's some days I'll
Motorhead
work out
rips.
to Lou Reed and Lou Armstrong. It's like I have a variety of stuff I listen
You
to.
working out to Louis Armstrong?
Yeah, man. Dude, well, sometimes like
Fuck yeah.
so I work 2 jobs, so it's like Monday through Thursday is for me is literally I'm working my at-home engineering job.
Okay.
7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I'm off there, and then I go work at the hospital as a sterile tech from 4 p.m. to whenever. There's some nights that like they'll do emergency surgeries, and I'll just stick around and help one of my coworkers. There was one night
Damn.
we got out of there at 2 a.m. Then I go hit the gym,
Damn.
get out at maybe 4:30, go home, get about an hour and a half, 2 hours of rest, get up and do it all
Dedication,
over again.
man.
And the thing I've gotten into now is like I'll get up like about an hour before I need to be at the at-home job. I'll do like 30 minutes of like some kind of exercise, which could be yoga, could be stretching, could be just little jog, go. You know, we have a circle driveway, so it's like I'll just like walk laps around the driveway for 30 minutes, but I try to do 30 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of reading, and then just decompress from all that, and then go to my my at-home job because I want to get my body physically like going, because I work so much that at my at-home job, there's times I'm just like trying not to pass out. So like if I get my body active, then it's then you know I can start doing my own thing, and you know I will say like working out has helped a lot with my mental health too, as well as my diet, and then changing my mentality. It was very much like this time last year. I don't see how people could bear to be around me at this time last year because like my only response was anger at a lot of stuff because I was confused, and I came from a family where it's like, oh, you know, you go see a counselor, you're fucking crazy. And I'm
Right.
But the greatest thing I did was actually see a counselor because they helped me kind of like understand some of these feelings and where it comes from.
We'll talk about your feelings, huh?
Yeah.
Weak ass bitch.
Yeah, it's like, hey, fucking be a man. Like me and my real dad got into an argument over this. I've got my real dad, and then I've got my stepdad. And my stepdad was dad for me for a long time because my real dad hit a low point with drugs and such. And I mean, he's been clean now for a decade.
That's good.
Like, you know, for and like so, me and him kind of rekindled that relationship because when he was like on meth and shit, it was all I got from him was fucking off myself, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I mean, don't tell your kid that.
Yeah, and then I And I went through my own mental health struggles. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing this sober. Dad was out of his mind doing this. Like, why am I having these feelings, you know? And it was like, I started talking to a counselor and, you know, and then, like I said, my only response to anything was anger.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I was confused, didn't know, like, a lot about that stuff. And I was so, like, stressed out by, like, finances. And I'm like, and, you know, so, like, anyone would talk to me, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm sorry, I'm just, like, life is getting to me, and then it's, why be that way? So it's like, I went from, like, hey, man, maybe I deserve to live, like, in that, to, oh, dude. Then I look at myself now from a year ago. So much mental health progress changed the people I surrounded myself with, which is weird because you are what you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
And so I got to, once I, like, started, like, giving myself a better environment to hang around, which weirdly enough is a punk scene, because, like, when you go through certain events in life, like that for me was after the relationships had ended, I'm like, oh, dude, who am I? And so it's like, when I found out who I was as a person, it's like, oh, dude, I'm just a fucking punk rock kid from Batesville who likes all this nerdy stuff, also is a pro wrestler. And it's like, went from, like, man, maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe some people are right. And then I'm like, dude, what did I deserve all this good stuff? And there's times, like, I feel guilty because, like, I'm on a string of good luck.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Will's like, dude, he's like,
it's real, brother.
Yeah. Will's like, Cody, you're a silly bitch. You work your ass off to have the stuff you have. And
that's
it's
right.
like, but there's also the part of me that's like, my cup is kind of getting too full. As weird as it sounds, and I don't want to complain. It's just,
it seems that way, yeah.
But to me, like, I feel so bad about it, like that, because I know there's other people who could use it.
For sure.
Good people that can use it. If there's a way, like, I could give them, I totally would. Because it's like, I am very much like, I only need enough to get me by.
Sure.
I live out of a backpack on the weekend. Traveling with wrestling gear, clothes, staying at Will's house on the weekends and stuff. So, because we travel together, and that's kind of efficient. We're not having to rush around and, like, oh, dude, got to drive 2 hours to go get Will and then go to this show that's like 6 hours in a different direction. Get him there and then drive another 2 hours back. But, you know, like, some of that, we still do that sometimes, because there's days where it's like, dude, we work so fucking much. There's some days it's like, hey, Will, no offense, I'm going to leave out a little early so I can go home and watch a movie and hang
decompress.
out.
Yeah, you got to.
I decompressed, and I've started, like, watching, like, it's.
I get in modes like that too, man, where I forget that you have to calm the fuck down for a second.
Yeah.
You know?
And, well, it's that, the high of the moment.
But enjoy yourself too. You know?
Man.
You're searching for all these moments, and you need a moment too. You know, just like, be still.
Like, and that's I think the hardest thing for me was, like, self-love.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think that's most of us.
Yeah, fucking taking care of yourself is self-love. There's nothing wrong with, like, hey, taking a day to yourself.
Yeah.
And my toxic trait that I tell everybody is, when me and Will do some of these shows at Diamond State, we're not getting Will home till about, like, midnight, and then I'm driving, 2 hours, so 2 a.m., and then I'm working 2 jobs the next day. And there's some days Will's like, look, you've got, like, all this vacation time at your first job. It's fucking, I work for a great company.
Yeah.
And they take care of us very well. I don't use my vacation time much.
Mm-hmm.
I'll, like, use it for, like, wrestling shows on a Friday, but, like, I'll, like, work extra on, like, a Sunday morning or something where I can take that day off. Or so, there are times now where it's like, oh, dude, if I don't use these days, I'm gonna lose them. So I try to,
might as well use them.
Between, like, Christmas and New Year, we have, like, the Christmas Eve, and New Year's off. So I'm like, all right, well, I've got, like, 4 days here that I can just use vacation on, like, decompress for the end of the year, just kind of relax. And now that
Yeah.
I'm working 2 jobs, it's like maybe I can talk my boss from the other going in a little early, and even man, why don't you just fucking rest, man?
Yeah.
And it's I always want to do
Stop
something.
compromising and just take the damn day off.
Yeah. No,
I know the
but-
struggle, man.
but like it's well, hell, dude, you work construction and then you do stuff at Vino, so it's like fucking day. Man.
Some days it's like, especially like big show days, it'd be like 17 hours, 18 hours straight.
Man,
Construction straight to Vino, because you can't just like go home and
yeah,
freshen up. You got to be there. I
Yeah.
work for myself, and I'm the only employee is me.
yeah,
So if I'm not there, nothing's getting done. So,
man. So like, have you?
but I
always,
also do that because I could just leave early. It's my job, but I don't. Same shit, same issue.
it's
It's like, well, I'll work till 3:30, then I'll drive, to Vino's, whatever, how far away it is, or 4 or whatever.
yeah,
Clock in and
and
just keep going.
man, and some of it's the economy. Some of it is you enjoy what you do. I didn't think I would enjoy this second job as much as I did, because my initial plan is I just need a second job because I want to get out of this financial situation
Right.
I'm in. And then I start working there and start like learning all the surgical instruments and the tools and stuff. And see my sister there every now and then because she's a surgical
Oh, that's
nurse.
cool.
So like there's some days like if it's slow and she'll like pop in, say, hey, what's up? And then it's just like a roast of me and her just shit talking each other the whole time. And I remember telling her one day, I'm the only boy of the family. I'm the youngest. Mom realized she had her perfect child and stopped at me. I go,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Mom,
okay.
I never thought, Mom always said, I'm her only son. I go, but tell me, Stephanie, why is your facial hair better than mine? So it's, and I like say that in front of our boss, and our boss is like, oh no. So, but like, I didn't think I would enjoy that job. So it's like, if you have work you do, then, it makes like the days go by a little quicker. There's
For
some
sure.
days it drags. I feel the days it drags are the days you're most exhausted. And those suck.
Dude, there are days where I'm just staring at the floor like, damn, really don't want to be here. And you'll work. I mean, you work, you have to.
Yeah.
And you get like nothing done. You spend
Yeah.
a whole day doing fucking nothing. You're working, but it's just so slow and you just don't want to be there. And really, you should just go home, dude. It's better. Just come back the next day refreshed.
Yeah.
You'll get so much more done.
That's kind of what I've had to do lately, especially with the gym, is I've got like nagging injuries from like wrestling and stuff. And there's some days like, even like Buddy and Chris are like, hey man, maybe take the day off, get an 8 hours of sleep
Yeah.
in. When I crash over at Will's, sometimes Will's like, dude, I just let you sleep because I know you don't sleep a lot during the week. And that's kind of true, but like everything I do has a reason for it, and it's kind of like out of some kind of love, whether it's the gym is self-love. I want to look the part for this other thing I love, which is wrestling.
Crafting the figure. Yeah.
And we were talking about chasing moments. Like the thing for me with wrestling is my goal was always to take somebody who's either new to this or not a fan of wrestling and turn them into a fan of wrestling. And I heard, and thank you, by the way, for all your support and stuff and everything you do.
Always.
Man, because that shit rules. We couldn't do it without the fans and good people like backing us too. So it's like there was this lady at another show called Diamond State. I found out recently her niece was a fan of mine. Or became a fan of mine, and all I did was go out there, and I got my ass kicked by like 6-7 people. But like it was, I related because it's like that the everyman character, underdog character,
Right.
Because most of the time I'm in the ring with somebody, especially now, I'm the small guy compared to them. So it's like it's the underdog story to be told, and so like. Some people relate to
The
that.
Rudy story.
Yeah. And like so it was when she told me that, and she was like sending me the snaps, and she's like, my niece is like now a huge fan of yours. She's and she's like you've made so much impact on this kid's life off of one show.
Isn't that
and
crazy?
One appearance. And I teared up because of it. Because it was like that moment of realization where it's like, maybe I am good at this thing that I do, or maybe I'm at least somewhat good.
Makes it worth it anyway.
Yeah, like every fucking injury I've had, sleepless nights, days I've been told you're not good enough at what you do. It's and there's days, even to this day, it's like I'll do something. God, that fucking sucked. And someone
Stupid idiot.
Yeah,
idiot.
and Will's like, dude, that match was fucking awesome. What do you mean? And I'm like, well, I did this and that, and I should have did this and that. He's like, well, I couldn't tell, and those people reacted to it. And so
that's just standing outside that door at Vino's. We expect like bands. They come off stage. You're like, it was the worst show ever, and I was like, they were cheering.
Yeah.
Sounded good to me.
Yeah.
I do it to myself, bro. The worst shows in my life. I've been like, I've never fucking, I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, literally no one noticed. It's just you're in your head.
Well, I think
the hilarious part about being an entertainer.
Man, and I think it's a catch-22 of self-deprecation on that. Of like, you self-deprecate because you want to get better.
Yeah.
However, if you stay in that negative mindset, then you're going to keep that. But it's
ruins
like,
it. But also being overly positive ruins it too.
Yeah, being overly
the ego.
Yeah, and so it's like there's some of that negativity. You need some kind of negativity to keep you humble and appreciate what you do. Because with wrestling, that could all end for me in a moment's notice.
For sure. Very dangerous.
Especially like, you know, somebody could drop me on my head and then I will never be able to function again.
Right.
It's happened to multiple guys. People have gotten killed doing this shit.
Woo.
You know, and it's
scary to think about, huh?
Yeah.
Knock on wood there.
Yeah, no, thank you for staying alive, Will. But like, he fucking bled buckets, and you know he had that match with Sleazy. It was
literal buckets, man.
Like,
fuck.
And he had that match with Sleazy, and I'm like, man, like, how did you not die in that match? And there was like, yeah, how do you not die? And
I can't die.
God left me unfinished. I can't die. And like, but like, oh, it's a. With wrestling, to me, it's so you know, we talked about imposter syndrome a while ago. I was the only boy and I'm the youngest, so like, you know, I had 4 sisters, so each of them I had somebody that they could pair off to.
Right.
I didn't have that really in my household, and I was my biological dad's only kid. So the only thing I had was like wrestling and video games that were for me. And so like when I get to do the wrestling, the best way I describe it is relationship or not, always felt kind of like an imposter somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm out there in front of that crowd for those 10-20 minutes, it makes the world that I feel lonely in feel a little less lonely. I get to take somebody who probably feels the same way and make them feel that way. So when I see like a little kid at a show, even if I'm giving that kid hell, I look that kid in the eye, and then it's like I see like that version of me that was in by it. So it's like I need to be the best me. That person.
Right. Yeah.
That person that paid the ticket, I need to be the best me for that person. I need to also be the example to all my nephews and nieces and those little kids. Like, hey, just do your thing, do the work. Make it happen. You can make it happen.
You can,
but you have to be willing to do the work. And like I said, you know, the day that Lame Johnny's playing, I guess, or Lame Johnny, but the show happening October 4th, the Crashcast.
Oh yeah, the cover show.
November 4th, the cover show. It, like, you know, that stuff you've got to sacrifice for what you do, and like, while it sucks, it's you know, it's.
Oh, it sucks for Kurt. That man is the most busy that day than you could ever believe.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
amount of conversations and this and that and this and that and fucking what the fuck.
That, and I mean, he does the camera work and stuff too, don't he?
He's filming. Yeah, he films and shoots the whole event.
Yeah, so it's like he's like
put it all together, films and shoots it like
has to answer questions.
He's day of, like, you know, guy. He's man in charge. Talk Kurt.
Man, you know, we have to do what we call in wrestling, put somebody over, and give a shout out and a good tip of the hat and toast to Kurt, because he kicks a lot of ass.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He has a closet full of hats that he likes to wear all the time.
Man,
he does have a lot of hats, actually.
That's good,
Real ones and figurative ones.
Man, you know what? And I
just
adore and admire the fuck out of that.
I just had a big old case of imposter syndrome last weekend, dude.
Really?
Too big.
So
yeah, it made me emotional. It's like, my life is fucking fake.
And
it happens. It just comes in waves. You do something so fucking cool, and then you just go like, that can't be.
Well, it's like that, the moment you get it, and it's like,
I don't deserve this.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't deserve this, but it's like,
but then you do.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're saying that, and I'm like, dude, you're, like, the nicest guy. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met. You deserve everything you got.
Man, I appreciate that.
I've seen you earn what you've got. Like, and even if it's on a scale that's on our scale, you still busted your ass for it. And I've busted my ass, too. But but it's hard to look inward and go, I deserve this.
Yeah, no, I look at, like, that match could be the one thing that people remember from that show. And that's great. But I go back and I watch every match on the show.
Do you?
I will talk to Will.
Y'all break it down? Like,
yeah, and I'm like, dude, I think this guy would be great facing off against this guy down the line. So me and Will like talk to each other. And, you know, he'll talk to Chris and Buddy. And, like, because they are, like, the minds of the operation. I'm just kind of like the little devious, hey, man, I think this match would rule. So...
he should hit him with a machete.
yeah. Dude, I've seen people use machetes.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Like, and I'm like, fucking what? Like, I get it, flavors of ice cream, but there's like so much. There is such thing as like, dude, people are gonna see that and they're doing the machete thing. Just people are gonna, some dumbasses out there
using a real one.
Yeah. That, but not
only
only
it's real,
that,
but it's not been doled down or anything.
Yeah. But not only that, it's. This guy's beep, 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 beep. And you're going to have some moron out there.
Yeah, chopping off hands and shit.
Scout.
Yeah.
Well, me and Will actually found a video of a guy that apparently had a, like, finger on the end of his pinky. And they did, like, a sequence in it where the guy gets bolt cutters, cuts it off. This is the gimmick. Cuts the guy's pinky off.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. And you just hear him, oh, he cut off my fucking finger. And I'm like, no shit. And here's the deal. The thing is, like, that was legit because it's...
Well, it's gone now, too.
Yeah, it's gone. I'm just like... I'm literally watching the whole Freddy Krueger scene of when he gashes his fingers and blood. God. And I'm like, man, like... The dedication, but also that was fucking dumb.
That's dumb. That's fucking dumb.
There's certain like dumb things I will do, and like
if you're gonna do something that stupid, you better make damn sure it's not like unfuckrizable or whatever the fuck. Like dude, you have to be able to do it 100 times.
Because you're already doing something where the margin for error is very
low. Oh
my
God.
And then it's like
you're just adding to that everything you add.
Yeah, and it's I tell you what, that hot dog and handshake better be fucking worth losing that finger over.
Fucking lying, dude. You made $18 and got a free cold hot dog.
Yeah, man. You know what?
Shit, brother.
Hey, man. Yeah, you go up to the promoter. Ooh, hey, man, I need that envelope, but can I get 2 hot dogs
and a paramedic?
Yeah, please. And also, look, man, we went through a worldwide pandemic. We don't have to shake hands here. Just give me another hot dog. Make that 3. I got a big fat wife and 9 kids at home, and I gotta feed them, as Stan Hansen said. So it's like you just segment that hot dog into thirds. Just here you go, like a workplace pizza party where it's like, hey, dude. Man.
Did you see that video going around of the actual? This company posts like these crazy record profits, and they've set up like a little buffet for all their employees and shit. And someone was like, "It's real," and they're just showing it, and they're like, and they show how much money they made, like how much the company made, and then this was their thank you was some shitty ass catered food, which catered food not that great.
No,
it's
not at all.
It was cooked days ago. It's getting warmed up by little,
little Bunsen burners and stuff. like the only thing I would say that's really good, like leftover, if you're gonna
The
cater,
day I
is
quit my fucking job for
that,
sure.
that and fucking barbecue, like leftover barbecue. It just has, even if it's like a day or two old, it just sits there and it absorbs that flavor more too, because it just sits in there, and it's kind of like the fat kid in me loves cold pizza.
Who
like
doesn't?
The next day.
You want to know a life hack for cold Little Caesars?
What?
This is weird. It's gonna sound weird. If you're fat, I know you're fat at heart now.
Yeah.
You got rid of your fat, but you're fat in your heart.
Oh yeah.
You take cold, and it works best with plain cheese for some reason.
Yeah.
But in Taco Bell mild sauce.
On pizza?
Listen. Somebody else told me about it. I was like, you're insane. He brought some to work that day, and we tried it. He put it in the fridge. We tried it at lunch. It's so good.
Oh, my God.
You put it on the pizza, and you just eat it cold. It's ridiculous.
Well, it was like...
Those two things go together so well.
That whole Family Guy segment of, have you ever had butter on a Pop-Tart?
Yes, I have.
Like, I legit asked my sister, I go, have you ever had that? She's like, yeah, and it's really good.
It is very good.
So I tried it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is great.
Why have I not known about
so
this?
My inner fat kid, like, I'll get on the air fryer and make pizza rolls.
Who
and
doesn't? That's how. If
and
you're
so-
not cooking them in a fucking thing at this point,
Yeah.
you're crazy.
So I've lined mine up with, toward the end of the cycle with aluminum foil. And
What
I'll
the
put,
fuck?
and I will throw melted butter, garlic salt, and Parmesan in there. And then I will shake it up and mix it up and let that cook for a little bit too.
What the fuck?
Inner fat kid, and I know somewhere there, Chris Pierce is like, huh, fat ass.
Yeah.
And laughing at me. I know he's shaking his head in disappointment.
Dude, that's unreal.
like, dude, so when I if I eat like a piece of cake or something, I'm just like, oh man, Chris Pierce he's disappointed in me right now. Freaking Buff Jesus is mad at me, and his disciple buddy is probably like, hey man, cut him some slack.
I did cake one time at a wedding. I fucking took it and I covered it in M&Ms, and then I dipped all of that in a chocolate fountain.
Oh, dude, I bet that ruled.
It's
like,
fucking so good.
dude, like, so like I tell people like cool snacks. Like my mom and dad bought like the little pre-made fudge top whipped brownies at Walmart. You know what'd be really good, Mom? Oreos and crunch it, put it over the top of that, and then like my mom makes this awesome homemade butter pecan cake, and I go, you know what would make really awesome? There's some fucking pralines on this bitch. My mom was like, ooh yeah, with caramel, and I'm like, yes, there you go, that's using that noodle. My mom is a small lady.
Ultimate food combos.
Yeah, no man, it's
I saw pepperoni pizza mac and cheese the other day and almost had a fucking heart attack.
Oh man,
It's like, well, I gotta make that now. God damn.
man, dude. The thing that's always got me is like when people eat macaroni and hot dogs. I'm like,
I mean, it's like I have the appetite of a 6-year-old. You just said that, and I'm like, I mean,
you know, I'm not
throw
gonna
some chicky nuggies in there. That's a pretty
yeah,
good meal.
I'm not going to be hateful toward anybody about that.
Oh, it's bad. You should not have it. That's all processed garbage. Like,
yeah, because I was about to say the only way I normally eat a hot dog is if it's grilled and that bitch has to be charred.
yeah, that's the best dog.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the best way to eat a hot dog.
Gotta cook it for a long time.
That or some chili
Split
on it
it.
with fucking beans, by the way, because beans go in chili. I'm tired of having this fucking argument.
Well, let's argue it because I think it depends on the type of chili.
I don't like beans.
Well, that's weird. I love beans.
Yeah,
I eat beans damn near every other meal.
dude, I you know, when I do like eat beans, it's like black beans on certain things. But
Black
I like
beans, love black
dude,
beans.
I love some homemade pinto beans though, especially like you throw some bacon or some ham in with it and cook it.
But see, my problem with the bean and the chili dog is that beans want to roll.
Yeah.
And when I bite, they want to, they want to dance
Beans
away.
absolutely go in chili, but beans don't go in chili.
I think there's a conversation to be had about that. I do like a smooth chili, but I love
Smooth chili.
But sucking on a chili dog. But one of the best things in the world, especially right now times, baby, because we woke up to 40 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing better than hearty, meaty, bean-filled pot of chili, crackers. I mean,
man. That or get some Fritos. Now what? I
Frito
like
chili
to-
pie. There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
yeah, dude.
dog. Freaking.
right?
that's
What
some
the fuck is
that's
that
some
about?
Bullshit, man.
That little bitty bag, $5.98 or whatever the fuck.
But somehow no one has figured out how to replicate this.
It's just
Yeah,
corn.
yeah,
It's
and-
just cornmeal in weird shapes. It's the extruder.
I guess the
We
thing
gotta
that
figure
really
this out.
disappoints me too is not only are you paying $5 for this small bag of chili, you're
Two
paying
Frito chili pies, what that makes.
Yeah, you were paying for. That would be like buying this and that much.
Literally,
of a
because it's
drink is-
air. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
air.
That's coming. Don't give them any fucking ideas, Cody. They're already fucking us on every
Yeah,
other level.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Some corporate bastard just went, that's a
All
good
right,
idea.
Hey, whoever makes this a Rain Body Fuel
Monster.
Monster
makes that.
Stay the fuck away from the formula. Keep it the perfect 16 ounces. This is. Stay the fuck away from decreasing it.
I feel like
greedy
now we're a
pricks.
year away from air and Coke.
Oh man,
They're gonna tell you it's
I
to make it
doomed
last longer
humanity.
too.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have the gall to charge you the same price. Like, what is it?
Nitro Pepsi, which is like.
That's what they tell you about.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
and it's. I don't know about it, and what's
Well, the molecules are bigger, so they don't leak out of the plastic. They stay in there longer.
well, what is it?
That's
You
why
spend,
nitrogen-filled tires last longer too.
What is it now? Like you spend like almost $3 for a bottle, of, like a 20 ounce of at Walmart
That's just
on
Coke.
Coke.
Yeah, that's regular Coke.
And then you can go and spend $2 on a full 2 liter.
That's
and
right.
It's like, oh hey, this is why America's
It's
obese.
about convenience. It's not about the
Yeah,
product. It's about
it's-
convenience.
And I mean, yeah.
Nobody wants a 2-liter.
Yeah.
Just get the thing. It's right there. Just grab
Well, you're-
grab 3 of them. Fuck it.
I mean, if you're like me, I grab me a 2 liter of Coke Zero, and I'll grab me a fucking bottle of Jack, and I'm just sitting there.
Oh
like,
shit, no.
So I'm just doing Jack and Cokes most of the night.
If I
and
had
that's
that,
how
you're
am.
hearing about me on the news, brother.
So that's actually how I beat up Will's neighbor.
Nice.
Like she had a friend over, and this guy's like, "Oh, I hear you're a pro wrestler. Ha ha. You want to wrestle?" I'm a few in, and Will is like, "I remember this night in segments because I was drunk." He's like, the first thing I remember is like, so Cody and this neighbor, they're hitting it off really well. And then he's like, the next segment is the neighbor also has a boyfriend who's coming over. So I'm like, oh, cool. And then he's like, I hear you're a wrestler. We didn't tell him that I also have been doing jujitsu for a little bit. So I get in the yard. And Will's like, the third segment is I'm laying on the couch. And he's like, Ryan's like, you need to go over here and stop this right now. And Will's like, I look at dude shirtless, like tried to do that never back down. And he's like, Cody, you're just sitting there fucking doing the Ric Flair, like joking around, like laugh. And he's like, and you're laughing at the guy. He's like, this guy charges at you. You roll him like he like tackles, but you roll him, put him in a double wrist lock. He's like, I'm being generous when I say this whole thing lasted 30 seconds. And I'm telling this guy how he could get out of it. And he's like, it kind of hurts.
Just
And I
punch
go,
me in my face.
Yeah. He's like, it kind of hurts. And I go, you could just tap out. He's like, what do you mean? I go, tap my shoulder when it starts to really hurt. And Will's like, the dude's like, okay. He's like, so I'll watch you go, it. And the guy's like, ow, ow. He's like, then you just rip.
So anyway, I broke his wrist.
Yeah. Dude, I was afraid I would have done that. He's like, Cody, you did that with so much control. And he's like, the dude like went back and he like cleaned up because this is out there in the grass at their
Y'all
apartment.
are crazy. In an apartment complex. Imagine you come outside to smoke a cigarette and you're like, the fuck is happening
Yeah,
here?
so like
These crazy ass fucking
so
people.
like as this is happening, Ryan tells Will, you're not doing that. And Will's like, Ryan, look, I'm so drunk right now. I'm seeing like 5 of you. There's no way I could do that. He's like, and have that kind of control. He's like, because I probably would have broke the dude's fucking arm. But like just that like moment, and then like the next day, Will told me that whole thing, and I go, so in other words, man, I let that dog out.
I let the dog out.
Let that dog out.
You just crank on that song.
Yeah, no, and I told Will's like, Cody, the best way I can describe it is you coached a guy through his own ass kicking.
That's fucking awesome.
And he's like, and the other thing that Ryan,
You got up like a dad. We're not going to do that again. What did we learn?
yeah. And so like with Will like telling me this whole story, like
That's funny, dude.
he's like, oh no, Cody, you really shouldn't do this, and then he's like, fucking murder him.
pull his lips off.
Yeah. Well, it's because like the one thing he was worried about was like, when Conor McGregor lost his first fight was off a lucky punch. Like Conor got winded off something and dude socked him in the
That's
jaw.
all it takes, dude.
And that was all it took. And Will was kind of worried about that. He's like, dude,
You
he's
drunk,
like, I
he
saw that
pops you
guy
in
like tackle you. He's like, but I watched how you fed your leg to him to try to double leg him. And you, just for you to get enough momentum to use his momentum to roll him up and then snatch him in a double wrist lock, which could have snapped his arm from his forearm to his elbow.
Gross, dude.
And he's like, you just like kind of maintained control of it. And he's like, it was just the funniest thing of like, well, it kind of hurts. And all you were like, well, maybe you should just tap out or give up, dude.
If it hurts, it hurts.
And I kind of feel bad because it was right in front of the guy's girlfriend.
fine.
But you know what? You sometimes you got to humble a motherfucker.
Sometimes.
So, but like
Sometimes.
that's like the craziest shenanigan I've probably gotten into in a little bit. That or
The
like,
whiskey did it.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely. Well, it's because I drank a whole bottle of whiskey.
That's what I'm saying.
and
It's
2 liters of Coke. So
too much whiskey, too many problems start coming.
yeah, and I'm not like and I'm a very productive. I want to do something. If I got to clean up, whatever, or like play a video game or something. Productive drinking. I don't like the idea of just sitting there and then drinking and then like getting sad.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's like, oh yeah, no, man.
That's the worst combination.
Oh,
Sad
yeah,
drunk is the
so-
fucking. Ugh.
Oh man, and so it was so it's like that. That was my moment of, man, I'm gonna cut back on the whiskey a little bit and just start drinking beer again. Now there's been a few times I've ran a few $120+ tabs at Pizza D's just off of me drinking Jack and Cokes that
What
whole
the
night.
fuck?
Will's like, how many you drink? And I go, I don't know. And then we have our Padawan Zeke that
Keeping the
hangs out
damn
with us.
lights on, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey brother, look, I hand him my car keys and I'm like, you're driving. And Zeke don't drink, so thank God me and Will got somebody to cart us around.
What a glorious thing to have.
Well, there's that one video that goes around that guy that, you call me anything you want, don't call me that. And it's like when you and your buddies go drinking, they ask you if tell you you're the designated driver, and you're like, you can call me anything you want, don't call me that.
That never ends well.
No, not at all. Like I've had several friends and family members get DUIs, and I hear fucking horror stories.
Ruins you, man.
Like the fines you have to pay,
Yeah.
the court costs, the lawyer fee, and I'm like, fuck that. I think I drank with Buddy like one time, and he was like, hey man, you're just gonna crash here because you got a 4-hour drive home. And he talked to his lady about it too, and they were gracious enough to give me a place to rest my head that night. Didn't get smacked
Out in the barn. We're gonna put you in the barn.
Yeah, I probably would have
On the weight bench.
Like I could sleep on a concrete floor.
Same. I could sleep anywhere.
Yeah, and the old man in me has now gotten to where it's like, just let me get comfortable for like a second, and I'll just be like,
just pitch black, noiseless for like 5 minutes. I'm out. Bye.
oh yeah, no, it used to piss the ex-wife off. She's like, you just fall asleep so instant, and I go, yeah, it's because I'm tired, and it's also like kind of learned to control my breathing a little bit, so I like do some deep breaths like right before I go to sleep.
I do have to be tired. That is an issue.
Yeah,
I can't just go to sleep. I should phrase that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I have to be like pure on the edge of exhaustion. Like the last 2 nights, I've gone home at 2 a.m. and I'm like, well, 6 o'clock, I'm gonna be up, so I better put it in.
And it's the nights that you have to force yourself to go to sleep that are the worst.
It never works.
Well,
then I'm up till 1.
It was like I get anxious about stuff like wrestling shows, so I'll toss
bet.
and turn. And then to come do the cast, it's like, oh, dude, I know Corey, so why am I anxious about it, And it's just like...
It's different.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, I tossed and turned, then I was up at like 6, and I think we went to bed at like 2.
Ooh.
So, like, even on some of the weekends, I'm just
Good thing you called for caffeine and not booze today.
Yeah, no. I live and die by it. I tell people I run off of 2 things, caffeine and bad decisions. I'm not saying one
That's a good
contributes to the other, but there are signs.
One helps the other for sure.
Yeah, there are signs.
I quit caffeine for a good solid minute and then just, after 2 jobbing it and shit, and I was just like, you know what? I need it.
That's pretty much where it started with me, and I've told Will, like, there's times me and him will grab, when we did the trip to Detroit, me and him each bought, like, 4 of the Monster Rehab, so it's, like, more of, like, tea energy. me and him were like basically just shotgunning those bitches.
Just fucking.
We would like chug one at the gas station,
Yeah.
throw it in the trash can, and then
Then you're talking like a couple of coke addicts in the 80s. We should start a business. We should start a business.
dude.
Like,
Well, the one thing that me and him have yet to do that we're still talking about is the Brown Haired Chuckle Fucks, our hardcore band.
what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's his brother Chase, me. I think his brother Kyle is going to get in on it as the drummer. If not, then
Well, can y'all do this like soon?
Man, me and him have talked about it. There's like so much going on with wrestling, and now he's going to start doing competitive jiu-jitsu.
Oh shit!
And so it's like, so we're kind of limiting some of the dates we take so he can do that. And it's like, I'll go off and do my own singles act and stuff too. But it's like, we've started like figuring out the companies that we really like. We've started prioritizing like, hey, we've got this with them.
Well, y'all are trying to build y'all's own thing too with the Vino stuff.
Yeah, the Vino stuff. And, it's the main companies we work for right now are SCW, APW,
Right.
and Mariana, Diamond State, and Fayetteville. Of course, SCW is in Mountain Pine, and then occasionally we'd pop in and go see our friends at Hoxie at OCW.
Oxy.
And then, of course, Vino's, which Vino's is our baby. And those are some of the shows that, like, if I could take that moment and capture it and just put it in, like, a bottle to have it forever. Because it's like, I'm not like the guy that wins belts in wrestling. I'm better at the chase of it.
Mm.
I kind of understand the role I play of like, oh, the way I'm built, like physically, 5'7", small guy in a giant's business that's now kind of started catering to smaller people with luchadors and even smaller guys. It's I'm a natural underdog.
Right.
That I know the story. My story is I'm better in the chase, and like sometimes I don't have to win to know that I've got you in the palm of my hand. So like whether I'm a fucking good guy or a bad guy, it's like give me a moment to get this, and this across. Now, if you have me as a bad guy, I'm referring to women as hogs. I'm calling the men ladies and all that. Like, just sticking with the basic insults. And, and then there was one time somebody, when I was a bad guy at Vino's there for a little bit, some dude told me, you suck. And I walked by and I go, you swallow, bitch. Grab my junk and then flipped him off. And it's just because I don't care, like when one size they're like, oh yeah, it's Vino's, like there's nothing off
There's no rules.
Yeah, there is no rules. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. It really is.
Keep me away
insane.
from a microphone too, because then it's like, oh man, that crowd will fucking murder me.
I'll tell you what, I would love to get crowd mics in there, and now that we've the last one miking the ring it's the best thing.
Yeah, because you already hear that noise, but to now have
to
it
feel
amplified.
Boom! Oh my god! It made that last one so much more crazy.
Well, that, and I mean when you hear that chain hit that mat too, that was how they like knew it was real. And so the way that match started was like the crowd was cheering, and then as soon as we hooked the chains on, it went dead.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're like, oh, like, and then they saw like how the chain was used, and they're like, God. Damn!
I thought they were just going to use it like a whip or something.
Yeah,
it's like on their fucking throats.
Yeah.
When it was hanging from your necks too, and y'all were like kind of pulling. You could tell y'all were pulling to try to stretch it across the entire ring, and it was just fucking crazy, man.
And like the method to the madness of that too, and it's just like the visual. So it's like 20-something years from now, they may not even know who me and Will are, but they'll be like, "Hey, you remember that one time at Vino's,
exactly.
Two guys were chained together." And so, like, I went into that match with a whole different mindset. I was nervous.
Hell
like, if you saw me
dude.
that day, I wasn't talking because Will's done like 3 of these matches, and his last one didn't go the way he wanted it to because the guy he was wrestling hit his head on the actual concrete floor.
Concrete floor? What the fuck?
Yeah,
he came out of the ring.
So they went off the ring through a door and overshot. And now Will's hand is here. His opponent, like his head splats concrete floor.
Ooh.
I'm watching it, like watching two of my close friends wrestle. I see Will get up, rip the collar off, tell the referee, "Hey, stop it." I am watching my best friend have a seizure. I'm like, is he gonna fucking die? Like, so we're in Georgia, and so it's like,
was this at the brewery place?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so like that whole point is like I'm sitting there like I go out, I learned you can't ride in the ambulance with them. I'm like, well, I'm fucking going with them. I
follow them.
Yeah. Because one, we rode here together, but two, I need to know if my friend is okay.
Right. Yeah, that's scary.
And it scared Will. It scared me. It scared a lot of us. And we sat there at that hospital all night with him. And all that friend was worried about was he's like, "Man, I'll let y'all down." And I'm like, "No, dude,
see,
shit
isn't
happens."
that crazy, dude?
He's like, "I let y'all
I'm in
down
a fucking
with that."
coma. I'll let you down. I'm sorry.
He had he was
that warrior mentality, man. That shit is wild.
Yeah, no, I felt like I let Will down that match because of how bloody I wanted to get, and it just wasn't fucking happening.
I mean, you got bloody, it just wasn't your blood.
Yeah, I did. I was bleeding at the start of the match. Someone's like, "What happened?" I go back and I look. It's from where I was headbutting the turnbuckle pad, and I missed, and I actually hit that turnbuckle, and it just. So I've got that goose egg there from it, and then Will just amplified it because he's just like,
yeah.
And so, like,
God, it was so much fun.
But I approached that match, like, I was nervous, and even Will was like, "Dude, we can back out of it now." And I'm like, "No, dude, we promoted this, and I'm going to do it." And now, like, and then a few shows back, did a suicide dive onto Chris and Buddy, like, something I've never done. And it's like, oh. So now it's like, oh, this ain't so bad. Why did I avoid doing this? And it's because I knew I didn't have to do it unless I really wanted to. So I approach wrestling with that same thing of like, if you do all your stuff, match, what's going to bring them to come see you? How are you going to top it? So like, there's some moves that I do in matches that I only do them in certain matches because
especially
it means something.
How many places? So y'all only have a handful of places y'all can wrestle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same faces, the same, and then the same crowds, and hopefully the crowds get bigger.
Yeah.
So you got new faces seeing it, but I get that.
It's so, and it's
bands run into the same thing where it's just people just get burned out. It's like you play too many shows and you're playing the same songs over and over again. You can't write new material, so you take a little time away.
Yeah, you get writer's block and stuff.
That happens for sure.
Everything.
Yeah, that's the worst in a musician's life. Yeah. Writer's block fucking sucks.
But the thing is, you find that muse, and then it's like, yeah, and then you're just busting out hits and stuff. So
I do hate traffic jams and write a.
I call this my best year in wrestling.
Right now,
and because one, it's the busiest I've been. Yeah, so far.
Yeah, so far.
It's the busiest I've been, but I've gotten some really fucking solid matches this year. And the thing is, I'm one of those that's like, I don't like to do the same thing every match. Like, I have certain moves that I go to because I know they.
Right.
But I'm going to wrestle. Like, for instance, my match with K. Toomer was a lot different than my match with Will. My match with Will was different than my match against the Werewolf Bruce McGowan at Venus.
Oh,
because it was like the monster versus the monster maker. So it was like, I wanted to. The Tumor was like a brawl between friends. One saw success, and the other was like, "Hey, dude, I was there before you. Why am I not seeing it?" That was the story being told. And then the other story that was being told with Bruce was kind of like Godzilla versus King Kong. It's like, oh, dude. You're the monster, but let me show you what a real monster is. You have to be a wolf to be a monster. I'm an evil man. So, and that was the story I wanted to tell with Bruce. So that's why, like, not only did I hit him with my knee once or twice, I did it 3 times just to capitalize. Like, I was like lifting his arm up because what was it? I wanted to kill the monster, but I didn't. The werewolf is still lurking, and
he's out there.
He is out there.
He might even be in this very room.
Oh, dude! If he fucking shows up, I'll be like, "Hey,
son of a bitch, he's in here,
dude." And what's funny is I found this thing that said somebody had wrote on a stall, "Bruce's pussy." And
Was it at Vino's?
I don't know if it was at Vino's, but it was at a random gas station, and I saw it. And
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I go, whoever wrote this, I concur. And this was before mine and Bruce's match.
That's funny.
So I go, what? Will's like, did you write that? And I go, absolutely not, man. That's too nice handwriting for my, I can't write great at all.
Yeah.
And so like the whole Bruce is a pussy thing cracked me up. And
who you wrestling coming up?
I put out a challenge to Draco, and I've still got no reply from it. I know he's going to be there, but I want him to accept the challenge because he is a great striker. He is a great wrestler. I want a chance to show wrestling.
I want to break his arms off.
Yeah, it's like I want to go from like, oh, you've seen me be a brawler. You've seen me do hardcore shit. I want you to see me actually do something that I do, but I don't do often because wrestling. And some of that is just because I got to be very mobile to do because it's
yeah, hell yeah.
So, but I've two guys I've wanted to wrestle is Draco, and I hope he answers it, and I hope he accepts the challenge.
Hear that, Draco?
Yeah.
Get off your shit, dude.
Again,
answer the call.
As I said, you call yourself the last
muggle.
dragon. I want you to accept this challenge, and when you do, you better be breathing some serious fucking fire. I'll slay the dragon. Doesn't fucking matter. It's in the spirit of competition, you're coming into my world. Vino's is the house that
and we're going to hell, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah, we are. And Vino's is the house that all these punks built.
That's right.
And
it smells like shit in there.
Yeah.
There's stickers everywhere.
Good pizza, though.
Yeah, food's pretty good.
Food's pretty good, man.
Just don't stare at the oven.
Yeah, don't stare at the oven and fucking.
Nah, I love that place.
No,
it's
I do
ridiculous
too. Like
in
some
there.
of my favorite things to do is I go and I look at that artwork too, like that people just sit up there. Artist here. There's been a few times where I'm like, I might hit a couple of these people up and see if they want to do some artwork for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to get them like a little exposure. The cool thing about Lucas Tubbs is he did my last logo and he's done some logos for us wrestlers.
This is the guy that did the flyer too?
Yeah. Lucas
he's good.
Lucas is a madman, and him and his wife are both, they're lovely people. I can't say enough good things about them. And they're both big wrestling fans and Japanese wrestling fans at that. So, like, me and Will and them will talk for hours on Japanese wrestling. Like, that's our stuff. And
is that, like, more crazy?
So, Japanese is more aggressive. Oh. So, it's like...
So, I might like that more, then.
So, wrestling in America is, like, a lot of it is story-driven. Like, oh, yes. Man, my girlfriend kissed this guy, so now we're going to do that. In Japan, it's the art of the struggle. And then, of course, in New Japan, you've got Bullet Club that's like that equivalent of NWO. We're a group of guys that we just want to fuck people. Oh. And then, Suzuki Gun disbanded. But, like, they...
I didn't know that. Kurt, did you know? Well, Suzuki Gun, they disbanded.
Yeah, they disbanded.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, but, like, a couple of those guys were retiring or, like, just wanted to do their own thing. But, like, they had their own group, which is like, oh, we are some of the best, like, grapplers, wrestlers. Bullet Club was like, hey, we brawl, we fight, we cheat, we're dirty. You've got Chaos. Their faction is... bunch of baby faces or good guys, and
but they're called Chaos.
Yeah, they're called Chaos, but like some of the stuff they did, like a Roppongi Vice, which was Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, and they were just doing some off the wall goofy shit. But it was a seminar with Rocky Romero where he's like, you don't have to do all this stuff. Go back and watch my matches. And I go, bullshit, you did some crazy stuff. And I go back and I look at his matches and I'm like, oh, he literally had like a minute and a half of crazy shit, but the rest of it was just getting that crowd moment.
Right.
And it's like, oh.
The setup is everything.
Yeah, and that was like the light bulb moment for me because like I said, I got my initial start in like 2008, 2009, did it till the end of 2010.
Yeah.
And then I was away from it. I went and did a tryout with a buddy of mine, Jake Foy. at a gathering of the Juggalos.
Fuck
for
dude.
a fucking battle
Yeah,
royal.
now we're talking.
So we got to share a card with guys like Matt Hardy, fucking Colt Cabana, Matt Cross.
This is your first match back after your hiatus?
Yeah, it was like a battle royal, like because we did a tryout.
A battle royal at a Juggalo event.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
And you know what the one move I got in was? I was sitting there at 350 pounds doing a standing backflip onto it.
What the fuck? What was this at the gathering?
This was at Thornville, Ohio, Bloody Mania. Like ICP did their like show and did the the Fago Armageddon.
Oh yeah.
And we had met Matt Stryker before, and he was hanging out with me, Jake, the whole time.
How are we just now getting to the Juggalo story?
Yeah, dude. No, dude. I've got
the fuck?
Even
this is
better
crazy
than the
awesome.
fucking wrestling thing was like that crowd erupted seeing my fat ass do a standing backflip.
I can only imagine, dude.
But we did that. But we did like a series of tryouts and stuff. So it was like, hey, how quick can you pick up this? And some of the people there now are wrestling in AEW. So like some of them. So it's like it's crazy to see like some of the people that I've gotten to share like learning stuff from and under their learning tree that I see. And some of them now we're in that battle royal, and I'm like, holy fuck, this
That's
rules. Awesome. And it's like I kind of wished I would have stuck with it because
what year was this?
This was 2015. I got back into it, and then it was like about late 2017 where I was like, I need to get back into this full time. At the time, But the gathering was a wild thing. I saw a lot of stuff, and the only thing I was advised was, hey, see $1 on the ground, don't pick it up. Why? You ever heard of the story of the poop dollar?
Poop dollar.
And so like somebody pick it up, you'd hear a bunch of people yell, poop dollar!
Poop dollar. Yeah.
And the Juggalos, they do the whoop whoop, and the whole time I didn't want to conform, so I'm like, I'll have 2 scoops of that whoop, please.
Whoop whoop family.
Yeah. No. Here's
Dude,
the deal. That was it was a cool fucking experience.
It's wild, isn't it?
I
worked for ICP once. It was one of the craziest fucking nights of my entire life.
So I watched a guy die at one of their shows. It was at the High Tone Cafe in Memphis, and this guy paid for extra meet and greet. So like we're doing Fago Armageddon. I go with Jake and a couple of our other buddies, and like so this guy like is up there doing Fago Armageddon. He slips, falls off the stage. And his head's busted open, and he was painted like Blaze Your Dead Homie, so I refer to this guy as Stage Your Dead Homie. And like some people are like, did you see that dude fucking die? He's fucking dead. And we're like, oh no, we gotta book it. So we get the fuck out of there. It's like, and by the way, we didn't kill the guy, and hopefully he's still alive. But man, that guy paid all that extra money for meet and greets and VIP, and he may not even have memory of any of that shit.
He's definitely got a hospital bill.
Yeah. But the craziest thing I seen at the gathering was...
Remember it, I'm still paying for it.
Yeah, no.
$70,000.
Dude, luckily for me, I got financial assistance when I broke my ankle because I wouldn't have been able to pay that $50,000 fucking bill for screws and plates.
I got them too.
And working in the sterile tech field, like I've had like representatives tell me like how much like a little plate costs. This is a titanium plate, like 2-inch titanium plate, just for the hospital to order. It's like,
oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
But the gathering, the funniest thing I seen wasn't even the wrestling. It was the Gary Busey's Sausage Castle was there, so you saw a lot of very undressed women there.
Always.
To the point where they had to do the or not Gary Busey, but Mike Busey.
Mike
wrong Busey. I do like me some Gary Busey. But
let's talk about buttered sausage. Did you know that that's fake?
No, what?
That whole Gary Busey thing that was going around. He's like, "What? Talk about buttered sausage. I love buttered sausage."
Was that AI early?
No,
AI?
well, it's face swap tech. Yeah, it was a comedian doing it. It was a fake interview. The whole thing's fake. None of it was real. Like, damn, dude, they're getting so good.
That hurts my feelings,
doesn't it?
Dude.
Probably just hurt a lot of people's feelings, actually.
Man,
it hurt my feelings.
Man, so at the gathering, like Jake was a single man, and I'm newly married, so I'm not like trying to get into anything like super crazy because I just got married like a month before.
Then you're seeing a fucking field full of boobs.
Yeah, saw a lot of boobies there. Well, guy is trying to find. He's gonna hook up with something. Guy's got to score because he's jacked as fuck.
Of course.
And this one girl painted up like Harley Quinn comes up to him. She's like, I want you to hit me. She's like touching up on him and groping him. Jake's like, no. And he's like, and in the head, I don't blame him. You're in a crowd of people. And if they don't know the context and they see you hit a woman, you're probably going to get your shit
She's trying to play
rocked.
the role? Is that what she's trying to play, the Harley Quinn role?
I guess so.
No.
What happened was he's like,
Mr.
No.
J.
He's like, no, I'm not going to hit you. Well, I see people like the Moses part in the Red Sea. People are parting. See this fucking mohawked guy, 3-foot mohawk. Guy had to be 6 foot, 3 foot of it was a mohawk, and it was this little guy.
Yeah.
I saw him turn this woman around, just punch her in the face, and they did pretty much sealed the deal right there in that audience, and she went off with that guy. And I'm just sitting there like, huh, Jake.
This some sort of fucking weird ritual they got?
Man, the Juggalos are weird, but freaky cool people, man.
They're wild, bro.
Man, I saw that.
It's on my bucket list to go to the gathering. I think it's over, though. I think they did I think it's over.
Man.
Do they? I thought I
did
read this was the last one.
Yeah, dude. I think they did that for like 1 or 2 years, but they were like fucking undercover cops were being planted
I want to go so bad.
We actually had a buddy of ours get arrested because he was like that. We met there because he was fucking dealing. But like, so was everybody
man.
else.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah, dude. It's like we're at a campground. Like, no,
test it. If there's no fentanyl in it, let him. Let him be.
Let him do his thing.
Fucking assholes.
But yeah,
so it can be.
Dude, we saw a lot of stuff in there. We had like a 10-hour layover in Cincinnati at the bus station.
Bus, yeah.
So it was like
immediately. I've made that mistake.
Yeah, and like that fucking bus station stunk the whole time.
Every time.
I blew all my money, not on food, but playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the arcade machine because I'm killing time. I don't have a charger, so my phone's on very limited battery.
Yep.
And my ex-wife at the time, she was going through stage 3 kidney failure. She was going to need it like a...
She's not your ex-wife because she's dead or anything, right?
No. She was my ex-wife because we couldn't work out at all.
Okay.
It was like gasoline and fire.
Kidney failure is a bad one.
So part of the reason I lost weight initially from 350 pounds to like 215, gained it back. Pandemic and other relationships.
Yeah, we all did.
Was I wanted to lose weight to donate a kidney to her.
Oh, I see.
And so she had already got somebody to, like, they had found a donor, and she had gotten that transplant. And so it was like, shape for wrestling now. The plan was always to go back to wrestling. I wanted a desk job because I wanted to get back into wrestling so I could, hey, I'm roughed up. But, like, I'd respect people, labor jobs, and do this. Because, man, you got to be sore as fuck, dude.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Getting slammed around and then have to go, like, your construction, man, you're having to pick up, like, so I've did a little bit of remodeling. So I know those, like, I picked up, like, 50 and 80-pound packages of tile to lay.
Every day, all day. Yeah.
And the most I've did with it was I never laid it, but I had to, like, cut it and shape it and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you have to use, like, that one saw that has, like, the water thing at the bottom of it. Like, that was exhausting, like, just running that thing because it's so loud. And
loud as fuck.
Loud, and the worst part about it is you would think you needed to worry about the dust. It's particles of tile hitting you.
Yep.
So it's, like, there for a while. Like, I remember one piece of tile, like, came off and it hit me and it just, like, gashed my arm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was helping this farmer remodel, so I'm just sitting there just taping it up and everything and going back to it. And thank God it didn't need anything, but it was
I've had some pretty wild ones.
Man.
I went home one day, and I'm just sitting down at the house chilling. Kaylee goes, "The fuck is on your face?" I was like, "I don't know. I just got home from work. Probably there's..." Well, it could be a multitude of things. And she reaches up and and I feel my skin moving. She's like, "Huh." And I feel it come out, and it's like this long. It's just a shard of tile from the grinder that just went in my fucking. It started bleeding immediately. Yeah, I was like,
shit!
I didn't even know it was in there.
Well, and the thing is, you get so used to it that you don't feel it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I was like, that's weird.
Kind of like thumbtacks in wrestling. Like Like that shit hurts, but to us, you know, the adrenaline's going,
dude. Ain't no way.
So you don't. It feels like a tattoo needle.
You feel like a fucking
sense.
superhero. You just rake them out of your skin.
The worst is like Will told me a story where like he had a tack break off in his elbow, so he had to like basically like squeeze that thing like it sat there for. So he would like try to squeeze it every day to get it out. He's like it'd be surgically removed. Finally one day, it finally just
came out.
I'm like, dude, you're like you didn't get gangrene.
Something,
shit. But like,
damn,
Will is a very lucky man because that guy's had a lot of close calls with wrestling, and but kind of like myself, he's kind of like at a high point, and all it takes is just like being around the right company and like being around the right people. And the thing is, working in entertainment, I don't know how often this happens in music, but in wrestling, I've wrestled in front of a crowd of like 200 people that were. And I've wrestled in front of a crowd
How does
of
that
maybe
happen?
5 or 10 people that you bam and they're
Yeah, it's the same. It's
just
just
like,
I think that's all entertainment. I mean, you know, play to a room full of people and there's just crickets.
and I'm like, dude, if you're not like trying to be entertained, then why are you here? Like
I've
I
had
get
band
why.
practices that are better than, you know, shows with
Yeah.
just your friends hanging out.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, man, like we're here to entertain you and have a good time, but I mean, sometimes that gets discouraging too. Great turnout, but man, they reacted to nothing, and it was like, I watched a death match happen one time in another company, and that crowd didn't really react to anything they did, and I go, oh, that's got to be demeaning because these guys are killing.
I think maybe they're just in shock, maybe.
Could be
Like in y'all's realm.
but like there's some people that like. You can,
So I think people think deathmatch and they don't understand what the fuck is about to. I sure
Yeah.
didn't.
yeah,
Luckily, I'm an agent of chaos. I love crazy.
Who
So the
knew someone
second,
would die?
yeah.
yeah. Who
So
knew?
the second they start stapling pizza to faces, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, bitch,
And
do it again.
I remember Will telling me his match was Eli. He's like, he wants to do skewers, and I'm like, he's like, and I don't want to take him. I go, fuck it, I'll do it.
Porcupine.
And I'll go, if you don't want to take skewers, I'll wrestle the damn match, Will. And then, like, you know, lo and behold, I had to go save Will's ass, and I paid
Take
the
this-
price for it.
I call it porcupining.
Yeah, man,
It's so fucking
it's-
horrendous looking.
Like, just the visual of it is cool.
It's wild.
Like, that visual, there was, like, one thing I hope that came out of that match. I go, I hope somebody gets a good enough camera angle to get a shot where I put him in the last caress, which is what that move is. It's a full Nelson camel clutch combo. It came from a wrestler, I'm Memphis. I know his name is Shooter, but they called it the Shooter Stretch, and nobody's done that since the 50s or 60s. So it was like, all right, I'm going to bring something out that's hardly ever seen. And that was one of them. And I go, I would like to have that shot of that struggle. So when somebody did that, I go, that was the shot. And so now it's like when I when I go to my hospital job, I have to explain to people that, like, why are you sore? And so, like, when my
You
sister,
show 'em the photo.
Yeah, no, when my sister like saw the the fucking porcupining, she's like, let's see her head. And then I lift up my surgical cap and like show her. So it was like after the dog collar match, like I had like a black eye from it too, because like I guess like all the bruising and stuff from the face shifting around. So it's weird having to explain to people. And I remember when I was married one time, I got a black eye. So imagine the looks you're getting out when you're out in public with your significant other and you got a black eye. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
Put your sunglasses on, sweetheart. They're staring.
yeah, no, they're staring. And it's like, but you know, it was really weird, but it at the same time, it's a funny story because, again, I've gotten this from wrestling. Like, pro wrestling is definitely one of those things where it's like, how the hell does this hurt? I don't remember anything happening here. Like when we did the match with Buddy and Chris, my heel hurt for like 2-3 weeks after that. And I'm like, I don't remember anything happening to my heel. And all I remember is I watched the way I took that body slam and the way my heel like bounced off the ground. I'm like, oh shit.
There you go.
Like that was the reaction too, because people are like yelling at Buddy, body slam me, and I'm like, and he just lifts me up, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And that shit hurt. Like,
Yeah, you got slammed on the fucking concrete.
Yeah, it felt like somebody like slapping my back and like, you can do anything you want to me, but I've decked
some of
people
those
for
cuts,
like slapping me in the back. Like I've legitimately decked.
they call it cuts, cutting
Yeah.
when they
Oh,
what is that called? Chop.
Dude,
Dude, some of those I'm like, that fucking hurt. There's no way that didn't hurt.
I've got some like scars on my chest from just chops.
From just chops?
We'll
Fuck
sit there
that.
and just chop the shit out of each other. And like I did it one day and my chest was just like pouring blood.
What the fuck?
Because where they broke skin and we were like, because you hit that same area and it's just like.
Yeah.
And it just ripped. And so it was like, you know, it's violent. And it hurts. It fucking hurts. Those chops are no joke. Some of the impact you hear off of that is definitely meat on meat, like just getting slapped. But like, there's a rhythm to it as well. So you have to do everything in beats with wrestling too. Yeah. Because if you have them then it's like you take them on that journey and you keep them there, then they're not going to know what to react to.
Also, the match is going to not last very long.
Yeah.
Because you have to finish it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you're taking them on a journey with you. I assume maybe music is like that too. Like, hey, we're here on this journey. Like, we got to on this journey with us.
Like when you're writing a song, there's definitely like a level of, do we hit them like early in the song? Do we do it later? What's the bridge look like? It's a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then or even putting a performance together too, where it's like, this is the song we know they're gonna react to.
I try not to do that, but then sometimes it's like you're playing the part. There's a part you'll write, and you're just like, well, you got to do the thing. Everybody wants it to happen.
Well, nobody wants the piss break part of the act, you know, as they refer to it. Like a lot of people, unfortunately, get stuck in what people call piss break matches, which is like ones you wouldn't assume. And it was such a
200 people in a room. They got to go piss sometime.
Oh man,
there's no intermission, barely.
There were some people that had to leave this last show because it got too hot in the venue. Of course, 200 people packed in a building.
Talking about Vino's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 200 people packed in that venue, allegedly. And then what was it? That building's 100 years old, you said?
Yeah, 1911.
1911. So over 100 years old. So insulation's not that great.
It's just double brick. There is no insulation.
Yeah.
It's just 2 layers of brick and a fucking roof.
Yeah.
With tar on it.
And see, that's like...
Well, actually, the leaks don't come from the roof. They come from where there's too much roof.
Yeah.
They've just layered and layered and layered and layered and layered
so it
roofs.
Just sweats and condenses?
Well, the water has now found a way to come between the layers off of the... There's an edge cap on the top of the building. Old school construction.
Yeah.
And that edge cap is supposed to funnel the water either into the street or onto the roof, and then which goes to a slope and then out back onto the street.
Man.
But... that edge cap, the layers are so thick, it'll pour water into the fucking roof. It's like, you know a cup, when you tilt it just enough and it runs down the edge of the cup?
Yeah.
And then comes out the bottom?
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening.
Oh.
To a lesser extent.
But,
real stupid. It could be easily fixed, too. It's just so fucking dumb.
But, like, just that... I wish there was a way we could fix a lot of that there, but it's one of those things, like... Some of that is like you let it be because that's the authenticity of it. Some of that is the charm of it. Is like just so old but it's like
it's definitely ran by the hooligans, you know, like
Well, my nephew came to this show and I was showing him stuff and I was showing him like the little newspaper article where Green Day had first started and then they played there. I go, dude, I am wrestling in a building.
Yeah.
Where fucking Green Day performed. Like, how fucking awesome is that?
And
like,
now you're telling the story on it at the table on the actual stage they performed on.
Yeah, and that fucking...
Full circle.
And to me, that's great because a part of my teen years was shaped by punk music. In particular, Green Day. Really loved, like, American Idiot. I'm ready for next year because I haven't bought that on vinyl yet, but next year is the 20-year anniversary, so they've got to release
Yeah, they will, for sure. Everything comes out on vinyl now.
Yeah,
everything.
So it's like, if they release that on an anniversary vinyl, then it's like fucking sold. Like,
yeah. There's no way they won't. There's no fucking way.
my favorite like vinyl that I have right now is Rancid Out Come the Wolves. That's
Cool.
one of my favorite albums I like to listen to. That was the first CD I ever bought from a pawn shop, and I was introduced to them through, like most punk music I know, was either through Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Air Freestyle BMX. So
There
it's
you
like,
go.
I am that meme of we're on a date listening to music. And, you know, hey honey, you know this song was on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? Like my introduction to Motorhead was that fucking cool ass montage video of them skating. Ace of Spades is playing in the background. So
I feel like Ace of Spades is responsible for a lot of people's, because
Yeah,
that
dude.
fucking song is in so much stuff.
but it just hits just right.
It does.
And then me and Will, one of our road songs is "Rock and Roll" by Motorhead. So me and him will sit there and it's like playing the instruments, and Will's voice is a little deeper, so he can kind of do Lemmy all right. So I can't do the
Lemmy's a little tough. You gotta
He's an entirely different.
just smoking
beast,
and
too.
whiskey. He's got this smoker's voice.
Yeah, dude. That dude, the fact that he managed to live as long as he did, living off a diet
It's
of
unbelievable.
cigarettes and whiskey,
Literally, yeah.
But God rest his soul, because he like one of the few bassists that didn't like play it like you would a normal bass, keep the tone. This guy was like just shredding it like it was a guitar.
Yeah.
And
Crazy amounts of distortion. You ever get to see him?
they opened for Foo Fighters once, so that was pretty cool to actually check that out.
Yeah, I was there.
Was that the same one where Dave Grohl was talking about the kegger? And he was in the two-piece Vader suit, and he's like, so yeah, I stayed in the two-piece the whole time, and I would just sit there, drink like a whole big-ass pint of beer. He's like, I got really drunk really quick because that suit was hot, and I was sweating it the whole time. And to me, like, Dave Grohl is, I say he's a musical god.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, for sure. The last living rock star, I feel like, or like the last person to become a rock star.
Yeah.
There's no more rock stars.
Yeah, well, that we've got the internet. Good.
Yeah, I think something bit me.
Oh,
Like an ant. Yeah.
It's that bug,
There's a
man.
shop.
It's that creative bug.
It's
trying
the
to
bug,
bite you.
yeah.
That's
I need
exactly
to go
what it's-
right, like now.
Yeah,
I'm inspired.
no, like I look at Dave Grohl as like that is how people should be. This guy fucking
Love me some Dave Grohl.
he like goes and like sets up a barbecue pit and like feeds people.
Yeah.
And like I've read stories where, hey, Dave Grohl was just doing a neighborhood stroll, and me and my buddies are playing in a garage band. He comes and jams with us for a while, and I'm like, dude, that's a story.
Have you ever seen his speech at Lemmy's funeral?
No,
That'll give you a good fucking. That'll give you a good emotional
man.
12 minutes, or whatever it was. It's so well done.
So,
God, and there's nothing this guy can't do.
So me and Will had a conversation on his book, The Storyteller. It really hit us, and it was like, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain had just died, and he's like, questioning what to do with the life. Foo Fighters hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
He's like, so maybe I'm just buy this ranch. I want a barn so I can make a music studio with. He found this perfect place, and then like he went to make an offer, and then it was. I even talked him down on the numbers, and then he's like, you know what? This is too perfect. And then the other conviction was he went and did drums for Tom Petty. And then, apparently he did so good that they're like, what do you think about Permanent Heartbreaker? And he thought about it, and he's like, something else I got to do. And me and Will have both kind of had that conversation.
Yeah.
If somebody came to us with like a contract to WWE or AEW or New Japan or something, it's like, how do you have that conviction to be like, oh, dude, I will make enough money that I won't have to want for anything. But Dave bet on himself.
Yep.
And look at how big Foo Fighters got.
He did it twice, too.
Yes.
How rare is that?
Yeah, dude. Very rare do you get two
Like
good
the second time,
legendary-
definitely he had a leg up,
Yeah.
but you still have to be good.
Yeah. And he went out of his element, too, because he wasn't a drummer for it. Like, he did the drum. He laid out a lot of the drum tracks.
The first album he did, that's all him.
Everything.
Everything is him. Yeah.
But it was like very rare does lightning strike twice, and you have two
so
big
rare.
bands. Also, God rest Taylor Hawkins too, man.
God,
But even Josh Freese replacing him as a drummer, like that dude. I watched their little Veeps thing behind the scenes making music, and just hearing how Josh Freese sneaks in little double bass kicks, and they're like, "Oh, He's like, yeah, I kind of cheat and sneak in double bass kicks so I don't have to do so much work with one foot. And they're like, fuck it. Sometimes you got to sneak in those cheats. So it's like, and, I guess that's also like the benefit of like backtracks too.
I love having a double bass for that exact reason.
It's just so it's like you don't have to.
Sometimes one foot breaks down, man. You're going for it for a solid 30 minutes. You need a little something at the end there.
Man, I just would like to learn the art of drumming so much because, like, sometimes I can keep a rhythm doing this or doing it with my feet, but I'm trying to, like, do a bass with my foot and then trying to, like, figure out with my hand, like, the hi-hat and then, like, the snare and stuff.
It's called limb independence.
Really? So you have to pretty much isolate each thing.
Yes.
Just use a different part of your brain to, like, oh, this one's here to keep the rhythm on the
Because
hi-hat.
this one wants to do what this one's doing.
Yeah.
And this one wants to do what this one's doing, but you have to force your brain to not do that.
So I take it that's why, like, if a guy's got a single bass kit and he really hi-hat, that's why his other foot is kind of moving so he can kind of,
Sometimes, you find your own way with it for sure. Mine, I do that too. I'll put my foot on my hi-hat even though I'm not using it, and I will I'll use the heel of my foot against my chair to like keep the rhythm, single foot, and then switch foot over, and put it back.
And I mean, the double bass thing is so weird because I had a guy break it down. He's like, it's like 5/8 of a second or something by the time you hit that second bass kick and it goes up and then goes into it. He's like, so it's a timing thing too. So it's like,
yeah, because it's not stiff.
It's delayed.
It's got a kind of a little wobble there.
Yeah.
And so you learn that. Now some of them are like fixed.
Yeah.
With like a bar. Those are the speed guys, though. Those are the guys that are just going 1,000 fucking miles an hour straight forward.
Like fucking Joey Jordison.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Fucking Alex Van Halen with Hot for Teacher, like doing the.
Yeah.
It amazes me, like, and those guys are like, oh, hey, we're gonna open with this song, and then it's, and then the rest of the show they slow down, and then it's like, oh, we got another one. But mad respect to drummers too.
Stamina.
Yeah, dude, stamina.
Lots of stamina.
That's probably why they get a lot of action on the side, if you know what I mean. Is because it's like, oh yeah, dude, this guy's got a lot of stamina there.
It's because they're all gorillas.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all
and
gorillas.
I'm like, holy shit! But hey, look, that rules for them too. Like with wrestling and
yeah, you'd probably actually be a good drummer because you're used to full body movement for a long time.
Yeah. So I thought about when I get my own place because I have a guitar, I would like to get a hollow body or a semi-hollow, because the one I'm playing on is an old junker where like the strings are like that far off.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta throw that away. Yeah, that's bad.
It's like
you're never gonna get any further with that.
Yeah, and even Will was like, "Hey, think about it this way: if you get used to that, I've heard you go to Guitar Center and just pick up some and play." He's like, "Once you've gotten used to like bending the strings and how that plays, he's like, now your fingers are strengthened."
Once you get a good guitar, you're just gonna be like, "What? It's actually this easy to do?"
Yeah. And so with me, it's rough now, especially using my pinky because you can look at it, and that one is different. I have jammed and broken this pinky. This one's got a little curve in it too. Yeah. I've jammed and broken this pinky so many different times. Like now when I wrestle, the whole reason that's taped isn't for look. It's because last year, my last 6-7 wrestling matches, I either dislocated it, jammed, or twisted it in the match off doing something simple. Like where if they go to hit me and I block it,
ooh.
I'm like, so I got tired of that and buddy taped it. So it's like, oh, okay, now you can give me a little extra. But like, so playing guitar now is hard, so I have to do more power chords and bar chords. Try to like learn a song or something because now it's like I don't have that pinky, so I can easily just like lay the fingers across the fret. Again, far
that's
off
too
the
much.
fret.
Yeah,
but like if I get my, when I get my own place, I thought about buying an electronic drum kit because obviously it's an apartment. If I could afford to buy a house, I'd buy an acoustic drum kit in a heartbeat. But I've seen like electric acoustic drum kits where it's like
they got them.
They're not like,
but
not
that's fucking crazy money. You're talking an insane amount of money.
Yeah, you're spending like the price of an electric and acoustic drum kit on that electric acoustic.
Yeah, just get one or the other.
Yeah, and I figure living in an apartment, especially with an electric drum kit, you can find them for a steal now.
You can.
It's like if you want to like learn the bass drum and rhythm, and if that's for you, maybe get that.
If you're on the top floor though, you're still gonna annoy people because your foot's gonna be banging against shit.
I'm hoping for a bottom floor place.
Bottom floor.
So I can, just kind of, because I want to learn and teach myself.
Right.
First off, but I also want like, hey, I've got a few friends of mine that are show me this. You can't teach this like limb independent, but you can like show tricks around.
Or something, yeah, just once you get this, your brain will start to go, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's with wrestling, you can't teach natural ability. That's why like I've seen some people like train for like a couple months and then they're like, oh, hey, you're ready to go because you get it.
Right.
Some people, they don't catch on that quick. And in wrestling, when you're taking a bump, the slam, your natural like instinct is to try to stop yourself. And
right.
now it's like, oh, hey, you've got to fucking
trust fall. You got to learn how to fall with grace.
Yeah. And so the thing that's kind of giving me and Will an advantage a little bit in jiu-jitsu is like they'll load you up and then just throw you over. We'll have that knowledge of like, oh, well, we know how to like soften that blow. So now it's like, oh, we've kind of figured out how to take what we're learning from both and implement it into both. Now, my problem is sometimes I'll get on the mat and they're like, hey, man, you can put your full body weight on me now. Like, and I mean, I'll hit somebody with body weight with the splash and stuff. They're like, you can put your full body weight on me. You can smother me. Like, that's the art of the game here. And I'm like, damn. And it's like Will, like, me and him will get out there and spar, and like I feel him ripping my limbs, and I'm like, God damn, son. My first day at jiu-jitsu, like I do something with Will, and he's like, hey man, we're not at work here, so just just if you're gonna rip it like you would in jiu-jitsu. Don't rip it like you would in pro wrestling.
Right.
Because there's different like techniques to make something hurt just a little bit more. Because it still hurts, don't get me wrong. Like, Mick Foley once said, if you knew how to fake a chair shot, I wished I would have learned it before, because that dude's had multiple concussions, broken bones, guys.
He's probably my favorite.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That is like the idol to me, and it's because like
he's so wild.
He's wild, crazy, but he did it his own way, and he didn't have to sit there and be a piece of shit to do it.
Yeah,
because there are some people
like a shill.
Like there are some people like anything. Hey man, I don't think this person deserves this spot. They haven't earned it, and it's like, who the fuck are you to say that? First off, it's like and it's politicking, and we see that sometimes.
That ruins it.
Yeah, we see that sometimes, and you see that in everything, work, entertainment, whatnot. And again, like I said earlier, we're wrestling for the same company, the same hot dog.
We all got here, bitch.
Yeah. We're all here. Just fucking be here to have a good time.
That's right.
And have fun with it. I've seen Matt Williams sit there and like chastise a guy like, hey, instead of trying to actually fight these young guys, why don't you try to teach them and help them? And that guy, like
maybe do some good.
Yeah, and that was kind of the mentality I have. So it was like, mine and Will's goal was be the vets we needed. So there's times where we've had to like sit down and have like stern talks with some of the people that are newer to the business. What do we know? We've never been AEW or WWE, but it's like maybe do this instead of that. Because if you're wondering why you're doing this, but it's hurting you more than them, maybe not do that, or find a way where it's like, hey man, you want to take their head off, go for it, but don't take your arm off trying to take their head off, man. Just go for the neck, son.
Hey, Kevin, how long we going, Kurt?
1,040.
Oh shit,
we killed it, bro.
Yeah, we did.
Wrap it up.
Yeah,
I piss like crazy.
Yeah.
Too much fucking caffeine water in my body.
Too much caffeine. Fucking, we admired this beautiful picture.
Too much, I think, maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. Oh, it's beautiful. A good picture. It's a great photo.
All right, plug your stuff.
All right, man. Well, you can find me at the Grayson Beckett on Instagram, Grayson Beckett fan page on fucking Facebook, or you can find me at Cody Downs, and that's probably where you're going to get a lot of response from. I'm not ashamed to answer questions or like talk to people, because like it's cool like to sit there and talk to people, and I like people, like learning about people. That's why we went 3 hours on this, you know. and it's because I like to talk, man.
I knew it would. Yeah, I like to talk too. I
So,
knew it was going to be dangerous, especially with all this fucking liquid go juice.
Yeah.
Crashcast Pod. We got the cover show coming up and the wrestling show.
Oh yeah.
They're both a few days apart from each other.
Apart from each other, I believe.
October 28th, November 4th.
Yep.
Ugh, almost fucked up.
So like October 28th is you know, it's Vino's Little Pizza Shop of Horrors. If you're in the area, go to that. If you're in the Fayetteville area, October 29th, Diamond State of Emergency. I'm going to be facing Eric Bronson, and one of the other guys that I wanted to face. One of the times I would have gotten to face him, he got hurt.
Ooh.
So, and then, you know, the Crashcast cover show, November 4th. Be there, and if you can't be there, if you're in the Mariana area, go check out APW.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Thank you.
240. Damn.